A couple hours left on a pretty exciting afternoon. I'm trying to make it exciting anyways, but welcome back in. We'll take you right through to 4 o'clock. I'm just keeping my eye on a few things here that are moving around, including crude oil back to the upside here, trying to at least. Walmart, meanwhile, had a spike there on an opioid headline. We'll get into that in a sec. This is how things are shaping up so far this afternoon. 0.38 for the S&P right now. The Dow on a big turnaround here, 0.63, actually leading the way, where the NASDAQ's back to exactly flat on the session. We've been chopping around, kind of going sideways the entire day. 0.86 for the TSX, 2.25 for Brazil. Everything else kind of there or thereabouts. 3.3 for Ethereum, back in positive territory as well. That's a look at the board right now. Moderna, excuse me, leading the way, 6.6% right now as far as individual movers are concerned on that positive note this morning. Gilead 1.8 to the downside after one of their drugs missed a trial, so they're under pressure along with a few others in that group with similar trials going on right now. Tesla, I want to get to 6%. We'll talk about this coming up, but another day, another 6% to the downside. Unbelievable for Tesla. GIS, if you remember this morning, they reported pre-market 4% in negative territory for them. Energy stocks are higher. Material stocks are higher. Banks also higher, led by diversified, actually I should say insurance company, Diversified Financials, limiting some of the gains so far this afternoon for industrial stocks. Also positive on the day, but there are some negativity or negative names coming through in transportation. Everything else, though, not bad. It's been kind of a flat day for tech. Typically leads to a flat day for the overall market. That's what we're seeing this afternoon. Hope your day is going well. Hope your afternoon is off to a pretty good start here. It has been a little bit light. Remember, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week is when we get the economic data released over the next few days, so it could be a little bit more exciting Wednesday, Thursday specifically, and then we get GDP, we get PCE, both the second reading for Q3 and then the November number as well coming up on Friday, so that should be a little bit of action for us as far as the market is concerned. Nike earnings aftermarket tonight, FTX, FedEx earnings aftermarket tonight. There's a ton to get to. There was a ton we were looking at this morning as well, including Tesla again. 3, count them, not 2, but 3 separate downgrades on Tesla shares, pointing to Elon Musk, who apparently, we learn halfway through the morning, is actually actively looking for a CEO for Twitter because, hey, the poll told him to, I guess is where we're at. Neil is here. He's going to talk about one of his trades to get us going this afternoon.
Welcome. Your trade of the day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World, and today it's going to be on AMC. Hey, $5 was a big level yesterday, and we traded off that level in both directions, so why not do a very similar thing here today? You're going to start off with the 15-minute, pretty much as I always do, and let's just have a quick look-see. Like, $5 is a psychological level. Let's get that one out of the way, and it was a pretty big level when I looked at the daily chart in yesterday's trade, and you will see it had this move right in the early pre-market, actually bouncing off the 5. And then you're going to quickly see where does it pull back into at the open, right into 5.15, then flushing through. And this is where the short was good, right in at $5. The second time it took it, you had a bottom here at 4.75, tried to come back upside and rejected 5 even. So that sets you up with the $5 level is significant, and with 5.15 is significant. So fast forward to this morning, when essentially, if you were watching the morning show, you probably know the litany of positions that were involved in at the open, one of them being Meta. So I don't actually get this initial push into 5, which does carry down to 4.75. However, I do play the retest of 5 even, fail break at 5. I'm going to short it to the high of the day, and that trade's not going to work out. But then the very clean breakout happens at 5 even. Unfortunately, it runs into a brick wall of sellers at 5.15. And the reality is, if you're going to take a 5 long and maybe give it to 4.95, then 5.15 is not going to be a bad out from a P&L standpoint, from a risk to reward standpoint. And then remembering what had happened sort of previous day at that level, I now adjusted my focus. If we're going to respect the 5 level, I want to be long. So I do reload it. It does not hold the 95 we get out. It comes right back, starts holding above 5 even, so I like it again. And this is where things get interesting because I'm in this trade going into the afternoon. you've now essentially got 2 days in a row finding that 515 as resistance. And if it's going to hold 5 and put in higher lows, this is going to set up for a breakout for me at 515. So yes, re-enter the trade at $5, but the more times it tests that 515 wall, putting in higher lows, now 2 days in a row, I'm going to like that breakout style trade. So you've got one, a key pivot point where there's been good shorts for a couple of days, at least if you had it at the open here. Second time didn't work off 5. But you also like that 5 into 515, which is setting up for a 515 breakout. And then just to advance and get the next level out, if we break that 515, we like 35 into 550 as a bit of a target resistance point. And that's just going from the previous day's levels. If it clears those, you never really know. You can always moonshot with this, but I like playing these technical levels. That's why AMC is going to be your trade of the day. Love to trade off key levels, $5 being an obvious one here on AMC. And as always, check out the QR code below and check out Day Trade the World.
Always one you got to keep your eye on. It did pop up halfway through the morning on decent volume back to the upside. We saw Snapchat do the same thing or similar, back in positive territory for both today. Finally, after, 3 days down last week and then another one yesterday, to the downside. That's the link to the watch list, guys. Make sure you grab that every single day before you come join us. It's free. Why not? Come join us at 8:30. I was just looking at this one, the trade desk. TTD. Remember last week there was, I forget who it was, but there was a negative note one of these days, might have been that day, on advertising or online advertising in general going into next year. It might have been from Google, if I remember correctly, but that had all of these types of stocks to the downside. So 5.25 back higher this morning. We got this from Piper Sandler. Upgrade, price target increase, talking about all kinds of opportunity now going into next year for online advertising. If you haven't heard, TTD is one of those. They sell online advertising, basically a digital marketing firm. Let's talk about a few things here that we were dealing with this morning. One of those was Amazon, back to the downside once again. There wasn't much in the way of significant news. We talked about that EU headline. They came to an agreement that would avoid billions in fees and fines from EU regulators when it comes to privacy rules over in Europe. So we're watching Amazon, guys, based on that and based on the negativity that's been surrounding some of these retail names over the past couple of weeks.
I'll have to, welcome back, guys. I'll have to tell Sharif, Apple fans can now subscribe to MLS Season Pass for $15 a month. Seems expensive. But
somebody good was coming to MLS, I want to say, but I'm not the biggest, I don't really follow the MLS. But
yeah, I don't know.
There was something last week or a couple weeks ago.
Oh, was there? That's where the money is.
He'd know.
Yeah. So we'll find out about that. But yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome back to us here with the last 2 hours in what's been, kind of the day that we expected. I mean, when we started this day off, the market was down 0.58 or whatever, and I was like, I feel like it's going to be a green day, but not by much. Right now, we come back and we're up 0.11 right now on the NASDAQ. So it's a pretty quiet day. The ES, though, is rocking up 0.4. So I think we hit the nail pretty much on the head with what was going to happen here today. Now let's see what happens as we get ready to close out the day and then get closer and closer to what is obviously going to be a pretty slow last couple days as we head into Christmas. And then very unique. Normally there's not a day off. Getting into the market, you don't get that Boxing Day off here in Canada. We call it Boxing Day, of course. And there, I believe in the UK is the only other place.
I call it something else, Shawn.
I know. Do you want to tell everybody?
No, I've said it every year.
Oh, okay.
My birthday's on Boxing Day, which...
Nice to have it off. Well, you always have it off anyways.
Yeah, but quite frankly, that sucked as a kid, and you can probably figure out the reasons why.
It's the worst birthday.
It honestly, it is. People say it's bad to be born on Christmas.
It doesn't really matter.
It's worse to be born on Boxing Day because in Boxing Day in Canada, think of Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, as what your Black Friday is.
Yeah, basically.
It's like a huge shopping day. Nobody ever, everyone's busy doing family stuff, so they're not coming to my birthday party as a kid if I tried to have it on my birthday. And then as you get older, everyone just wants to go out shopping. It's like, hey, Neil, we're not going to buy you your gift yet because we'll just go Boxing Day shopping and you can pick it out. I'm like, well, that's a lot of fun. Like, who wants to do that?
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Well, happy. We'll wait. We'll give you
Well,
happy birthday later on. You're here.
Turning 27 this year.
Yeah. So a good. Yeah, 26 was a good year. 27 will be even better. So good for that. Yeah, Neil and I, of course, the same age. You probably thought I was 26 or 27, but
yeah,
maybe you thought Neil was a little bit younger than that. So yeah, all right. Let's just go with the trade that I'm currently in right now. We will talk about that Amazon. So yeah, Meta's not on the board. Meta's been a disaster, but since you've left, we've actually shorted pretty good. We waited for 117. We had a good short here, 116.30 or so, down to 115.60, made a little bit of money, then got out here when it ripped back up through 116.50, shorted 117, got it in, our best out 116.30, short again out, short again right now as we go. So we'll wait to see there. Shawn's over 25. That's a good call. Whoever said that is
they're messing with
awesome.
I'm seeing some numbers in these age guesses in the chat that I'm like, I don't want to acknowledge some of them.
You're not 47.9. You can't be a 0.9 when your birthday's in 6 days.
I'm also not like I'm not young, but I'm not that old. I'll leave it.
No, you're not that old. Yeah, I mean, now they're getting. You guys already know. If you've watched our show, we've said it numerous times how old we are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
like I have 21 years experience, and this is my first job out of university.
It's not.
So I mean, you guys can sort of do the math, and we'd be able to figure that one out. But all right, let's go over to Amazon quickly. Amazon
Did you trade Amazon? I didn't.
Did I trade it today? No. So that's interesting.
Yeah, neither did I.
Amazon again, one of only 4 names that I have on our sticky note today. Traded all the other ones, not Amazon. Let's have a quick look. It's up against the market today, which is really nice. I've been wanting to go short Amazon for the longest time, and we have been shorting Amazon. You know, that would have been great up to 87. That could have been a pretty key level there. I wrote down short 87 on Amazon. There it is right there, 86.70 high, brings it right back down to 84. So another missed opportunity for me off my own stupid note right there. But anyways, it'll be all good. 87, I like the short on Amazon. I think it is a short. But look how kind of right now it's barcode nation. So until we get either back up to 87 right now, I don't think we'll really be touching Amazon at that point, but yeah, it sucks about our daily chart there. But it's been pretty negative to the downside. Ultimately, we did write down the key level of 88 where we might stop the short, but definitely wanted to bring it into 87. 87 was yesterday's level that we sort of opened the day on and then hit to the downside. So we like that 87. We shorted it yesterday and really made good bank on that. So we'll wait to see here if it comes back up to 87. But that to me is a pretty screaming short up there near 87 if it comes. But that's still $1 away. Missed opportunity there on Amazon today. Lucid next.
No, you're not going to believe what happened in ATNF.
I don't even know what that is.
So ATNF was that small cap. Like if you were watching the morning show right at 11 o'clock. So I was basically essentially flat on the day. Like Meta sucked, but there was enough good trades that I was more or less hovering around, break even on the session. And then ATNF and Moderna and something else, Ford, all happened. Like bang, 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 and it's like took three hits there. But this one, I shorted to 550. I shorted it to 525, then to 550, and then finally had the top on it. Trailed out, and you guys, right when those, like I think it was Luca and
both
and Sharif, like I think they were short. I heard them talking about it that it spiked up, and I'm like, oh, I trailed out of the short above 6 at 480, only for it to go to VWAP and now halted to the downside. So that was a missed opportunity. It comes back into VWAP, basically gifts you that 525 or maybe the 5 breakdown short right into a halt. The move, I think, when it reopens, can come down to the halt price of 330. That was the up halt this morning. We'll see when it opens back up. I don't know if there's going to be a trade because I don't want to short it off 5 into 330, but that's kind of frustrating because that was one that was sitting in pretty much all day looking for that price, and it gave you that re-entry. I didn't trade Amazon, oddly enough, today. 81 is the 2020 low on Amazon. Obviously, like it didn't really break the channel down, and it never got to 81, so it was really nothing for me to do.
ATNF, there is an offering, guys, that just came out there on that halt. So $6 million in a registered direct offering. Looks like ATM at the market. So 211 that came across for ATNF. So be aware. Here's Lucid. Speaking of, I mean, it is kind of an offering. It's a private placement. So they sold 85.7 million shares raising $1.5 billion to this Saudi fund, IR Third Investment Company, which already owns 60.4% of the company. So they just added a whole bunch more, which is a positive, more funding for Lucid.
It is okay, so we said this morning, like when is raising money a positive? And it's a positive when you're these EV companies that need money to get their runway going, because quite frankly, they're not producing, they're not really selling a heck of a lot yet, and it's a matter of how long can you survive, recession's incoming or already here, a lot of people will tell you. But I like to dip buy in Lucid, and my channel was yesterday's. It's very similar to AMC, where I was just looking at some of the prices. It broke down at essentially 735 to 740, and they made a high in the afternoon at that same price. And then you look at what the resistance was off that morning breakdown was 7.25, and the afternoon was 7.25. So I like the long starting in here at 35 and into 725. Now the problem with that is it broke to 725, and then this was the low of the day. Like this 723, that's my stop out. It breaks that, make the low of the day, it snaps back up. I was able to get back in at 733, and then I made the colossal error, which usually is how it works, of seeing that move and thinking downtrend so that when it gets back to 750, that should be the out. Instead, it breaks out, holds 750, makes a fresh high. About the only thing worthwhile is, hey, those levels are coming back into play this afternoon, so maybe it can hold 725 again, but missed out on a ton of upside. I did get back into it, so was able to get back what we lost. It just did not hold out to that $8 level, and then it never got to 810, which was where I wanted to short the thing, so missed out on shorting the top on Lucid as well. You want to get back in when you get wicked out. It was just frustrating not to hold on long enough.
Yeah, mine was a little different story there because I actually forgot. I mean, I must have put this in here for sure I did. But, I got taken out when it broke through 725. Like, I don't know why when I wrote down that, on the sticky note here that we would be long until 7, why I would even have this order out there, but I must have been a little daydreaming there. We went long early, took a little bit of profit there, including the best piece out was 19 cents. Because look, like I wouldn't go long here at 28 and then get out at 25. So unfortunately, I forgot that I had this order in, wicked out, and then as soon as we got taken out, you just saw, it's the same story for Neil, went all the way to 790. That's the W rate there that we were looking for. Like that reload all the way back up. I mean, we should really be dropping down some cash, like some serious cash on Lucid, and it just sucks that we're not. So I, just like Neil, I think that we're both pretty bitter about the way that all turned out. Yep. And I just feel like, so here, let me zoom in a little bit more here. I know it's, you guys know, like, if there's anybody here, Neil does it as well, but I mean, it's part of my playbook is like, whenever you get that out there, and you realize, I mean, I was just into so many other things. It's 950 right now. I was battling Meta. I was probably in that Apple long and so on and so forth. So I didn't even realize really that I got stopped out there. I mean, obviously, with the changing of the net and everything, you would have realized it. But by the time I put it back, it was the same minute. Like that, this is a 1 minute candle that we made that bottom at 25, and then that same minute it was back to 37. So by the time I even, like Neil's like, oh, Lucid, I was like, whoa, and I flipped over to it, realized I was out, and it was all the way back to 37. So I just feel like I didn't want to punch that long there. Should have, especially when you don't have big volume. So yeah, Lucid, very, very frustrating. But as I wrote on the sticky note, I think that Neil talked about it, so did Brendan. You're raising capital at these levels. Like, I mean, that's that for that investor to come in there and take 1.5 billion, back into the company. I mean, obviously, if that can make a move back to the upside, it's nice that, although there's already 60% committed to the company, it's nice that they still have faith in it. Let's see if it can work out. Obviously, it's Saudi money. I mean, these guys offered Ronaldo $200 million a year to play in Saudi Arabia. So I feel like there's a hell of a lot more money coming for Lucid, which is a good thing if you're looking for bottoms. So I feel like maybe there's that bottom at 7 now. It's kind of like the Chinese. It's kind of like NEO, where they went down to like $2 or something during the pandemic, and then the next thing I knew, we came in the very next day, and all of a sudden it was state sponsored. So I mean, Lucid, I feel like it's basically state sponsored by Saudi Arabia. So get ready to see some fireworks. The lower it goes, this company could basically get taken private again if they keep owning all these shares up. So I don't know what the end game is for Lucid, but like Neil said, it's nice to see a runway coming through on that one. Because of this? I hope our investments don't. Well, mine already have.
I'm just saying, Shawn's been finding ways to, ever since he was the last person on the planet to watch Endgame, which I think was fantastic. But he keeps finding ways to throw it in there, which I like.
But I'm not watching that Bee Woman movie. There's no chance of that.
We're back there
I don't even think I watched Ant Woman or whatever that was the very first time it came out.
Now you're just look. You're saying it incorrect just to bug me. Like you know exactly what they're called. The characters are called.
Honeybee. Bumble. Ant-Man and Bumble. All right, Brendan, let's go over to Thorman or Hammerman. At the big desk.
Oh, goodness.
Hammerman needs to go visit Ant-Man or whatever. I don't know.
Hammerman is the best.
A couple notes on Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla. More to the downside we go here for like unbelievable 5+%. 3 additional negative notes here from analysts this morning on Tesla, pointing to Elon being distracted by Twitter still. Apparently, then he comes out and says that, or someone came out and said they're actively searching for a CEO. I actually saw someone suggested Sheryl Sandberg. Maybe you guys can chime in on that. Should run Twitter. But anyways, Kathy Wood, yeah, who cares?
You would?
I told you, I thought it was going to be DTJ there, Donald Trump Jr., and then you really get a bunch of excitement happening there. And then we'll see Papa Trump come back right back on Twitter, and then Twitter will go public again, and then we'll see who gets the last laugh on that. I don't think that's going to happen. But that was just a rumor I saw yesterday. I thought I was like, you know what, that might be... It might be okay. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be okay or not, but that would be an interesting take there. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen.
The only reason I think that's super unlikely is because if Trump has, which of course he does, he has Truth Social. So I think it's almost like the last, because it's competitive. It's like the last person.
Don't they have that agreement or something where he can't post on Twitter while still being? I don't know. I'm going to leave that for everybody because
Sheryl Sandberg's interesting. That's actually
Sheryl Sandberg. Nah, but. Well,
but that's actually pretty interesting. I mean, she's smart. Like,
SPF, that's a good one.
Who said SPF?
I don't know, somebody in the chat. There it is right there.
Trader
Gordo.
Remote work is all the rage these days, so apparently you can, man, why can't you run a company from jail?
Stamp license plates or run Twitter. I mean, I feel like I would choose Twitter.
Choice.
I think I might choose this. Actually, I might choose the license plate.
Less
okay, let's go over to Tesla quickly. I almost went long. We just got filled on Meta, by the way, which is a really good fill there at 70 or at 60, 65, something like that. We'll go over that in a minute. But there goes Tesla right now, just now taking down the day's lows. So almost as soon as we brought that up, it just cranked through 141 to the downside. I mean, Tesla's just been another sick day for them to the downside. I mean, we talked about it, Neil kind of not jokingly, but we talked about that 146 area. It was a very, very bad area to trade off the morning. You did get a bump up to the 200 period, up to 148, and that would look silly that we're not short 146, but it wasn't that clear to begin with in the first place. And why are we talking about 146? It's because that's yesterday's bottom. So if you just sort of push that into today, you just would have, I would have, because I don't hold, I would have got destroyed trading in here. I already know that. And then when it went up to 148, hopefully I would have had the you-know-whats to hold that. But I don't know where the 200 period was at that time. I might have used that as an out. But that would have been a great short. And so that's why right now, look, I'm looking at this for a break long now. We're down 6%. Yesterday, although my trades aren't showing up, we had a great out and long on this yesterday, or it was a short. It was out right there. No, it was 147 somewhere yesterday that we wound up getting out. So I feel like right here today, you have the same kind of a situation where you're straight to the downside. You are still making, I mean, this is about as clear as you can see here, although that one's a little bit higher low, as you start to make new lows as you go in, and all these new are all lower highs, right? So there's the high, that's lower, that's clearly lower, that's about the same, and then there's another lower high right there. So Tesla definitely absorbing this trend to the downside. As long as the market's kind of doing this, which isn't much right now, flat, then I think you just want to short Tesla on any pops. And if it really gets going, we haven't taken the 200 period, so I will test that break at 142. I already have the order in, so if we break 142, I'm going long. That's $1.20 away. Might not be in the cards. If anything, I would say it's clearly a short. I'm just thinking if you're waiting for like a hero long, maybe it is going to be that 142 if the market gets going again. So I want to be there for that, so I'm going to wait for 142. But I mean, I can't blame you going short in front of it and then punching long on the reversal. So I think there's good opportunities.
I tend to agree with you on the 142. I'm kind of thinking about the Luca trade. Luca's been saying 140.23. Look, what I think he means is the 140 long, obviously, and then he's just saying 140.23 because if you split adjust that price, it ends up being 420.69. So understanding sometimes how trading logic works in the brains of people, it wouldn't be crazy to me if it bounced off 140 and for some reason 140.23 was that low. I think I'd take one shot long in front of 140, but that's about it. You're going to see I have a lot of similar positions that we're not talking about from the morning. ICCM, I have not been holding ICCM all day long. That actually is untrue because I did get out of it when it's cropped up to 5. But remember when it was up here around VWAP, I said I'm not going long 380. I only want the long 3 in front of 280 because that was what we were doing this morning. Well, I waited all afternoon and it was essentially right before we came on, it bounced off 280, so I took some long at 3. It bounced off 280 again, so I took some more. Well, this was actually up at 315. And then I took some out actually at 3. It's now bounced up to 350. I have gotten some out because it seems to be rejecting this 360 level. I'm just looking for $4 here. I don't really think it's going to go back up to 5 even, but when it shows you a support level, then I'm going to trade off that support level if I get another chance at it. Thankfully, this one's given me another opportunity to get into it, but if we see 140 on Tesla, I'm likely to be on that bid for a bit of a scalp trade.
All right, just looking at Apple mirroring basically the overall market back to dead flat. 0.3 here to the downside for Apple. That's the chart, the only thing you really need to know. JP Morgan this morning cutting their forecast for Q4 as far as iPhone sales and deliveries are concerned, if you want to put it in EV terms. They also talked about, I don't know why you would want to do that, but apparently I did. Q1 next year going to be a little better than expected, going from 60 million up to 63 million in iPhone sales, guys.
All right, so, I mean, let's just hit the siren alert here because we really nailed Apple today. It's my #1 stock by far for me here today, and it was just about being patient. Look, I mean, Apple, Brendan just mentioned about it going with the market. That's what's going to happen with Apple. It's just one of those bellwether stocks that is going to get bought, I feel like, on dips, and we've just been at a major dip right now. I'm going to show you the daily level on that. So this is really the kind of trading that I want to do moving forward. We do get carried away. We did hear, Luca talked about, taking a break, and that's part of it. Like when you're not trading in your zone, you sort of got to sit back. And this is something that I've done a lot is wait and try to be patient. So as soon as, instead of trying to catch this move down on Apple on that JP Morgan, you talked about the downgrade and the negative talk there on the sales, let it form the bottom. So that's 1, twice, 3 times there at 130. Did it break every time? Yes, it did. But I was like, okay, let's just take it one last time. And then again, it just goes back to R to R, right? Risk to reward. This is 130.15. That bottom is 129.90. So if I give it to 80, you're giving yourself 35-40 cents worth of risk. Well, this is 131.70. So that is $1.60 for 40 cents, right? As it goes up, right there, that's 80, that's 90s we're getting out for the long at 17. So that's more about right. Get some out at VWAP, get some out 2 to 1, then start raking. And then there's our last out when we broke back down below. We talked about that right as we were going off the air. We took this trade. It was actually, we were still on the air because we went a little bit late. But there's 132.30. And remember, I was like, oh man, every time I get out, I should reverse the short. Well, there it goes back in. And now, instead of bottoming at 130, we bottomed at 131. So you are starting to, again, make higher lows. So I feel like this is a long, but I'm short right now, Meta. It's really just barcoding. And here's the daily that I sort of would promise to show you. I can zoom out more. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. There's 130 back to May. So, if we're buying bottoms, we almost got back, in August, this almost got back to all-time highs again. So we had basically 30 or something. It was like 35 out of 40 days or something were straight up here for Apple. Can we do that again? Of course we can. So I like Apple here to start positions long. I don't see a problem with that. I like it better than Disney. I talked about Disney being at some of the bottoms. But again, like, you know, if you're in the Apple environment, you're probably staying. I don't really have too much of a worry about, you know, sort of the business that they're in. I do worry about supply chain, and I do worry about COVID lockdowns, but they are trying to, you know, substitute a lot of their production from China over to India. So I think that that could help them as well. But I don't need to talk about Apple for long term. You guys should know about it. Every time you sell Apple shares, it goes into an ETF or into Warren Buffett's big belly at this point.
And a big belly it is, because Berkshire's actually done pretty well.
Huge, man. I mean,
look at his oxy bet. Like
I didn't mean physically. I was talking about like the positions.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
The guy's a monster. So WFC today.
Well, WFC's
that's a big one for him.
It's actually been to the downside. I guess we'll get to WFC. Maybe we won't. I'll talk about it at some point. But the only thing I wanted to add to Apple is when you talk about supply chain issues, is hey, maybe I'm not going to talk about the chart for Apple, but when you talk about supply chain issues, I think some of that, look, that's going to be starting to ease up next year. So there's going to be opportunities all throughout next year to be picking on Apple. I don't know where the bottom is going to be, and that's why for that stock, it is like the ultimate like dollar cost average thing, because you know, I can say 125, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Maybe it bottoms at 100, maybe it bottoms at 110. I don't really know. Maybe it bottoms right here. I just feel like in 5 or 10 years, you're really not going to give a darn which one of those levels it did bottom at, as long as you got something in there. I wanted to go over I almost said ATF, ATNF, because on that rug pull offering, it did go right to the halt price, turned around. Well, it's consolidating right now and starting to turn around. So this is where I kind of thought it would make a bit of a bottom. I'm not saying you got to go long at a level like that, but you know, this is essentially yesterday when it was giving it up, it went right to it halted to the downside and then had resistance at 325. Then it essentially halted at about 330, same price basically, and now wants to run from here. I should have just punched in first. But anyways, I'm looking for longs off that area. The bottom was just at 320. So if I actually get a shot at the 330s, which clearly I'm not going to because it's starting to go already, then I just want a nice little risk to reward. The halts down was at 410 and it opened at 4 even. So that even provides you with a good target area. So risk to reward, if I'm giving it to 320, let's just say, and I think the area here is up to like 410, I don't want to be chasing it like a 370 long. That would make a heck of a lot of sense.
Look at Netflix. This popped up as we came on literally this morning, just shortly after 8:30. Wall Street Journal out with this note suggesting that their ad-supported tier was the least popular and signed up the least amount of people in the month I guess it was November they were talking about here. But bearish anyways as far as what was supposed to be the savior for Netflix.
Yeah, and at least I didn't trade this one. I mean, I feel like a lot of the big cap names we talked about, it's just like, oh, this didn't go to a level, so I didn't trade it, or this didn't give me an entry point, so I didn't trade that. But Netflix, I talked about this morning, kind of liking that 286 to 287 channel, and you can see it plain as day. You have a bottom the last couple of days at 86. You had essentially where it fell off a cliff when the news came out in the pre-market, that same price area. So I was grabbing shorts there. I was able to play down to 84 and then down to 83, but I'll slide to the 3 minutes so you can see it. But when I did reload it, it took out the top. I got away from it. It made a couple of higher highs there before leveling off, essentially at 289. And now 286 is sort of right back on the docket for a potential short, like it could break down. I'd like to see it be a bigger consolidation, breakdown trade to the short side before I jumped in, but it's starting to set up for it here. I need to see the market rolling over. The NASDAQ is exactly flat. I mean, the ES is up maybe a quarter here, but I just want us picking a direction because otherwise you're doing that thing where I say diddling in the middle, but that's essentially what you're doing here. I want to see us break away one direction or another. If we break higher, Netflix is in front of support. I think I like longs in front of it, and if we break lower, it's at the exact level that I want shorts in front of. But trading, randomly picking which direction I like off 86, I just get wicked out back and forth, which I hate doing, so I'm not going to be making that trade. Just to go back over ICCM here, it's starting to curl back to the downside. I got some out in front of 350. This would be if I go long again, that'd be the third time in front of 280. I feel like I don't want to tempt fate. If it touches 280 again, it could break. And this thing was a 93-cent stock yesterday. So if it breaks support at 280, I don't want to be caught in some kind of a halt down on this one. It's been good off this level. No need to tempt fate.
Apple, Netflix. Yeah, look, I think I don't want to say it's an ad flop because, literally they went from 170 to 330 based on partly all of that.
And it's still up 280. So.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with Netflix. I think it's a long. We talked about where you got to get long, 230, 240. I like Netflix for sure at those levels, but it's got to come in just a little bit here as I'm sort of flirting with a few new ideas. So we can.
There's a super chat here. I want to answer this question, but you might not be happy with this. Pinky with the super chat, $2. Hey guys, please help. How do I set a stop after hours? Now, obviously, depending on what broker you trade with, your ability to trade in the aftermarket and the pre-market is going to be up to whatever rules they have. So I don't know who you trade with and what rules that broker would have. If you happen to trade with Day Trade the World, and you were caught in position after hours, then all you have to do is you can use a script order, but you can't use you can only use the Day Trade the World script stop, and then you have to make sure that the order that you're throwing out is one that's eligible to trade in the aftermarket. So like ARCA, NASDAQ, EDGX will be eligible to trade. If you don't trade with Day Trade the World, then quite frankly, I don't know what broker you're using, so it's difficult for me to answer that question for you. But that's what your broker works for you. At the end of the day, you have an account. That's a question that they should be very quickly answering when you ask for them. And if they're not doing that, then quite frankly, they're not doing their job and they're not respecting their clients and their traders. But that's something you should find an easy answer with from your broker, and I suggest you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'll just add to it. Why don't even really try? Are you going away? I'm just saying to Pinky, why not just sit there and try to manage it if you can.
Well,
that would be the main thing. And the only problem with that, of course, is liquidity in the aftermarket. So no matter, even if you take Neil's advice, or obviously you should be contacting your broker. That's advice that anyone would give you, especially if you don't know the rules. I would never be part of a platform where, quite frankly, I wasn't sure how the executions worked. But I get it. There's a lot of differences there. So find them. They have chats. But I would say just watch. Watch the levels and then set a aggressive limit, because the problem is, here you go, I'm on Apple, so I have no problem. I just started a new long here on Apple. I picked a direction. I thought maybe the market wanted to go long there, just because we were down and whatever. So anyways, the idea would be now, I have a stop order set for breaking of 70 to the downside, right? So if that breaks 70, then I'm out. But in the there's no problem for liquidity. So I'll for sure get 50s, for example, and won't wind up losing anything on the stop probably. But in the aftermarket, liquidity is going to dry up. If you think, okay, I want to get out of Apple if it breaks 130, 170, well, the next bid, for Apple, different story, but for different stocks, the next bid could be $1 lower. So if you send out a marketable order, then all of a sudden, that 1,000 shares that you think you're losing $300 on, you just lost 1,300 because, it takes down whatever bid is down there at the bottom. So I would just be careful with all of that, and I would definitely say contact your broker. That's the best advice, but I do want to thank you for the message there. We're done the rundown.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, a while ago. Yeah. So yeah, let's move. The last one was Netflix. So, all right, just quickly here, we are into Apple, and I just want to talk about why. There's the VWAP. That's the last fill that we took. So it's come right in for us. This is a good level. And again, it sucks to say that, you never want to say, trading, you're going to have winners, you're going to have losers, that's for sure. But if you're going to make decisions, make them based on something. So for me, we're right down to here. I thought the market had a chance to bounce at these current levels. And if it does, then, that's why my average price right now is 85, because these were just small tests. And now we put on shares down here at 80. So, we're going to lose 15 cents. It's not going to be the end of the world, but it will suck if it does break. We are at a tipping point right now for Apple. So with that being said, I have massaged out a little bit of this meta trade because, if I think the market's going to go up, I don't need to be short meta. So we've been taking out a little bit of profit here, but not much, as really not my day, but this current moment hinges on a long rather than a short. So I'm going to see, there we go. We just took a piece of Apple out. We were at 85. We took an 89 there. Let's see if it continues to go back. That was not a good ad. We need to get more than that. So let's see if we can get a little bit higher on Apple. My next offer there, it is 95 is more like it. So we'll see if Apple can get back up. We'll take 10 cents and then we'll see about some more. That out was 5%. Didn't even, again, kind of a mistake that we put it there. So let's wait to see now what happens with Apple. Hopefully takes out, 132. I mean, that's really the key for me up here at 132. So I don't know, man. This is a slippery slope, but we're on Apple right now. We're trying to lose 15 cents at the most if it does go against us here. Otherwise, we're trying to get a lot more than that on the upside.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, obviously a lot of things moving right now. I have some positions I didn't go over. Someone asked me where my target price is on Intel. I shorted Intel into the high of the day. It stopped out, and then it did a wick top. So you saw with Lucid, if I get a wick top, I'm just jumping right back into trade. And oddly enough, those are a lot more clean. Like when you're shorting in front of a level, it's like get in, cover some when it hits VWAP, reload those same shares when it comes back, and then get stopped. But when it does the wick top, this is what I want it to look like. One entry, VWAP, low of day. Like that's essentially, and maybe I'm kicking myself for not being more patient with Intel, but quite frankly, I shorted it's been good almost every single day, so I always want to be in it at the open. But if it breaks the low, I've been bidding down here all the way to 26, and it's a matter of the low breaking. The market is actually green now, so if it rolls over from here, Intel not breaking the low would be a shock to me. I do want to mention CEI. It's not till tomorrow that they do the reverse split. However, this morning when it cracked 10, I said I want to see if 8 holds. Well, 8 really held. Oh, you guys can't see. Can you? Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thanks, Lucas. But like, this is 8 holding all day long. And eventually, I was kind of hoping it would run the stops at 8, and then I could get long on the way back up. But eventually, I just said I have to get into the trade. I took some at right in front of 8 even. Then when it broke 8.5, I took more shares out. I have only covered in front of VWAP, and then it couldn't break 9.5. It's gonna test back at 8 even, which I'll probably reload right in front of 8 cents. And then if 8 cents breaks, I'm just gonna get out of that bad boy. Let's forget about it. But that's one that I'm in for the morning, and the same thing with Intel. And then Wells Fargo, I was just never afforded the opportunity to get a good re-entry price where I liked it because I missed VWAP. And now it's going to break. I've been looking for a low of the day break for it to get back down to 4. They did have a settlement that they had to pay out I was like 3.7 billion, I think was the charge. So they're the weakest of all the banks today. And all it did was take out 420, wick top, and then reclaim that, 42, and then reclaim that 42 price, at which point I just shorted it a couple times, and I've been holding on for dear life ever since.
This is like, I mean, maybe we just shouldn't be trading right now. Like, so we just got stopped out on the low side, which is fine because we were able to get some out, like we said there, up 90. We actually got our 95s, like some of them out anyways. And then we got stopped out, and now we're short. So I just went back to the short. It's like, if you can't beat them, just join. I'm like, forget about it. Okay. Jeez, like, see, oh my God, Shawn, what are you even doing? Like, again, it's just, come on, give me some 72s right now. Yeah, so it's just like throwing money away here, trying to chase like different moves when they're really not even doing anything. So, just be very, very careful, honestly, right now with the market. Remember I just said like a minute ago, I was hoping for the longs to come in, and, now I'm hoping for the shorts. So how things just change so fast. But we did break lower there. I don't know. And I don't, you got to be like unhinged when you're trading. So right now, let's just do the work that we've done on Apple. We thought that this would hold VWAP. It clearly didn't. It spiked all the way down here to 131.65, enough to get me out. Like, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't even say the outs. And I know Neil and I mean, look, what we're saying about Apple's not controlling Apple, that's for damn sure. But some of the outs are pretty obvious. And I mean, I got to either take less shares or be willing to hold it a little bit more against me than, I mean, VWAP is here at 77. I held it a dime. I mean, probably not enough. But I saw it was, I don't know if it was Trader Gorno or who it was there. Oh, it's Zach. What's up, Zach? So right now, Zach's saying right here, Shawn has 214 trades on the day and pays $3 in fees. So let me just double check that for you right now. So today I have 230, 6 trades roughly, and those are just not all trades. Like for example, when I'm getting hit here on Apple, yeah, exactly, good word. It's executions. So like right now I'm bidding Apple 72. So when I get filled for that, it's only going to be 10% of my position, but that counts as a fill, and then I get paid for that fill because I'm adding liquidity. Like this is not like, oh, Citadel's paying. No, like I'm sitting here, just like this ARCA. You see how someone's here with 4,000? That could be me. And then if you get filled on that 4,000, then you make $2 per 1,000 shares. So then you would make $8 a fill. That's how it works. So hopefully it'll come up, fill me here at 72, and there it goes running away. I'm gonna put a 74 fill just to get the fill. There we go, so we get it right there. We still are waiting down here at 72. So hopefully that'll fill us. Then when we get the fill, we're getting paid. So long story short, I took another fill at 74, so now I have 37 fills. And my fees today are actually, I need to do a better job. The fees today are $37. So 230 so fills and $37 in fees. So try to do a good job managing them.
My fees are lower, but there's a cheat because.
Yeah, there's rebates. Well, no,
I'm making rebates on this one buyout stock. So.
But just do the math without that.
Yeah.
Just take the fees
out.
out.
I'm too lazy to do that math.
Okay, yeah, anyways. So that's
I have a
that's
question to
what it is.
ask you guys in the chat, because this is an important one. Like COSM is near the high of the day, and I was just looking at this stock, but I saw a bunch of people talking about comms, and these are like there's a different stock, comms, and why I think this matters, because when COSM was making crazy moves, this penny stock, comms, made, I think, what was like a sympathy play, and you never want to get caught in that. Like if a stock is going up because a few people have the symbol wrong, and when it's a penny stock, it doesn't take a lot of money to move it. So a few people having it wrong, and they're buying the wrong stock. So I'm pretty sure you're not talking about comms, and it's COSM that everyone's interested in. But this is making a run at the high. Now today I haven't really touched the stock. You guys know I was shorting it yesterday. Unfortunately for me, I was shorting it the day before that too, so that didn't really. You can imagine how well shorting comms went on Friday. Well, if you were watching the show, you know exactly how it went. It went pretty poorly. And then yesterday it was pretty much easy money. $9 is a monster level for this stock, and as long as it fails that price, I'll probably take runs at it. But if it breaks 9, I think you could see 10 or 11, as long as it's not a fail break. I'm about to get some more CEI shares right in front of 8 as we go to Brendo.
I mentioned this right when we came on, forgot to get to it. Here's the note on Walmart, guys. They reached an agreement with all 50 states on this opioid settlement to the tune of $3.1 billion. A few states they've already apparently made deals with, so 0.89. Didn't really do much to the stock, but worth a note for Walmart.
Yeah, that might not be.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is when you know that, I mean, Brendan, if you could find out maybe if that's higher or lower than expected, I mean, that seems like a lot of money to me, but again, it's probably a drop.
Opioid thing, I don't know that it is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, because I know that there was someone took a big hit for that. It was J&J maybe. You could see here Walmart, I mean, with a market cap of $400 billion, so they got to pay 1% out of that. So, does that mean that Walmart drops 1%? Maybe, but again, there are valuations in here, right? That where an analyst or somebody would say, okay, we expect Walmart to, get dinged $5 billion, and then when it comes in at 3, then they got to readjust some of their price targets and things like that. But again, that's a small drop. That's why I just showed you the market cap, 1% there that they have to. I mean, what a sad sort of, it's not really a scandal. I mean, is it a scandal? I guess sort of, there about the opioids, but now everyone's addicted, so that kind of sucks in the long run. But anyways, we'll kind of leave the politics out of there for that. But I think it was J&J that had to pay something, and then it was Endo. It basically bankrupted Endo Pharmaceuticals, as far as I know, unless that's still there. Don't at me if Endo's still there. I haven't heard anything about it in a while. So that was a big one there that got hit. So consumer confidence is tomorrow. I didn't know that, did I? Hit the like button, 4,000 watching. If consumer confidence is tomorrow, that's going to be a big number at 10 a.m., I believe, or 9:45.
I see.
That's going to be a big one. Do you see it? I don't remember. I
see $26 billion for J&J. But
how much they had to pay?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. They're actually producing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not apples to apples, which is obviously the problem. But $26 billion versus, what Walmart had to pay there. But what's interesting about Walmart? Oh, I like where it is on the daily chart here. If we can come to my chart, it's bouncing above the 50 period. It's up 1% in the day, just slightly better than the market. But you got your 50 period. You're about to close above it. I mean, there's an hour left in the day, so if I just jinxed Walmart, then whatever. I don't think I jinxed anything. But about 143.5 is the 50 period on the daily. It's already made a bottom yesterday, a higher low, higher low, higher low, all in front of the 50 period moving average. If this market's going upside, then I like me a Walmart long. I didn't have to say it that way. Whatever, I like me a Walmart long. So in front of 143.5, I'll take it this afternoon. I don't think that's a lot of money, but it also has to do with where I see it technically and the fact that it's also trending to the upside, which if you're going to go for the longs in this market, all I have is AMC 5, which I don't know if that's going to care what the market does. I definitely know CEI at 8 cents. If market can go to $1 trillion, I mean, it doesn't matter where the S&P 500 is going. CEI is going to either hold 8 or not. It has nothing to do with it. And then ICCM, very similar story. I want something where if the market booms, this should go. And I do like this opportunity off VWAP as well on Walmart.
All right, I'm going to take another advantage here at 69er. There it is, another fill for Apple. Apple just been going to the downside. We said if you can't beat them, join them. So there it is, Apple downside. Now let's see if the market wants to just continue its move. We do have market bottoms coming in soon, possibly. So this 11,150 could be a spot for sure. So I would say that could be something to look at, 11,150 there for the NASDAQ. So I would look at
Tesla.
that and watch out. Tesla, yeah, I canceled mine. So we just took a couple outs. Anyways, the best out I had was we got a 66 and a 66 and a 68. I thought we had a little bit better than that, but nice downside move there. Oh, that's what it was. It was this. It was Meta. We got the 50s. So there comes Meta to the downside. And again, when we went long Apple, we got some out on Meta there for still profit. But there the short is now coming in. Let's see what happens. We've had some pretty epic moves near the end of the day, both to the upside and to the downside. Let's hope we have the latter today. Downside pressure is what I'm looking for here in the market. So obviously we still have this Carvana short. This was a one and done trade for me earlier. Wish we would have reloaded it right there, but I was waiting at 450, so missed that reload. Didn't even really see it, to be honest with you, but I was there, just didn't get it to me. That's the pre-market trade, and again, a $4 stock. We took this at 905, got out once it opened up. Right down here, 408, my best out, and we're coming into that again, so watch out for Carvana. But obviously, my mind right now, as we start to make some bank here, got to get out, on Apple. So Apple's back down into the 60s again. I'm bidding. Now I'm bidding. See, there it is. So we just got filled at 66, and I hope I do a good job of this. This is what I used to do when we opened up offices around the world for Day Trade the World. Explain how trade structure works. So right there, when I just got filled at 66, I was bidding using ARCA probably, and that's what I use most often, and they would have paid me because it would have ran me over. If I go ARCA bid right now, 73, and remove liquidity, then they charge the $4, roughly $3 to $4, depending on what gateway you're using, per 1,000 shares. So it's way more expensive to remove than to add, obviously. So yes. Just to give you guys an update, it's good to control your fees. I mean, I think that's a main spot.
For an active day trader with that many fills.
Yeah, only 240 fills.
It's far more important than you think, because especially for momentum traders, I've seen days, and I'm not going to throw names out there, but I have seen traders who will have 80% of, if you look at their gross versus their net, they'd have days where 80% of their gross is eaten up in fees, so their net is 20% of their gross. Well, I mean, that's just not going to cut it. You have to be so incredibly good as an active trader if your fees are that poor. I'm watching Tesla here because it just bounced 140.27. And you guys know exactly what price I'm bidding, 140.23. Look, I'm just going long in front of 140. In normal circumstances, I probably would have 31 or 27 or something in front of that quarter mark for the first leg. But I feel like it's going to come in here. It's just a matter of risking. With slippage, I think no more than 50 pennies. Although when 150 broke, it was 149.50 I have to cross to. So I'm making sure that I'm crossing pretty deep if 140 does break. But I am now long at 140
there's some
and
size
23
there. Nope,
cents.
not for long.
There's some size on the bid, but I don't think that's going to matter. It's either going to hold 140 or it's not. I do want to make sure I get that Netflix if it breaks channel down, and then I do have shorts that I need to cover. If we take out the low of the day on Intel, I'm going to get some more out of that one. In Wells Fargo, I'm holding on. But there's that 140 on Tesla. If it gets back to 141, this is a scalp trade. That's what I'm looking for.
I like that. I mean, I like that long down there at 140 for sure. I think that it's going to hold. I don't know if it's going to hold, but I mean, that's the key level. That's what you want to do, right? It's
We're
that.
screwed because Luca. Oh, he's there.
Luca's there, yeah. He's probably long too.
I swore I turned around a second ago, he wasn't there.
Maybe he got the spro and ran back. Okay, so yeah, here's Apple as well. Apple looks like it wants to take out. I mean, now I got to get out when it breaks 132. Like, give me a break. Right now, it looks like Apple does want to go back up to the upside on this market ripping. We're going to try one more time, and this is what I'm talking about. We're short at 87. Like, we're going to take a 15-cent hit, it looks like, if it rips back to the upside. Again, a hit sucks. Like, it's minus money. You know, and you never want to have a losing trade on board. But at the same time, like for risk to reward, look, some days, man, you're going to lose $1,000. Some days you're going to make 1,000. Some days you're going to make 5. Hopefully you don't lose 5. And that's just kind of the way trading works, man. And it's just like, you know, if the level holds, great. Then we'll definitely be banking on this. But if it doesn't hold, then it's an L, and we look for the next trade. And that's part of it, right? We always talk about this being, you know, kind of like a casino. And what I mean by that is there's lots of different games that you can play, obviously at casinos. For me, I'm a blackjack kind of guy, but you know, you gotta sit there, make your bet, and hey, look, I mean, even in poker, right? We talk about it. Aces can get cracked, and so in trading, there's no certainties. There's not even like a trade you could put on that would give you any kind of probabilities like holding rockets. So, I mean, I would say that you take the best shot that you possibly can, and here we go. I like Apple at this level, and I also like the Tesla at the 140. So, you know, kind of back and forth there. One's a long, one's a short. But if you're looking off the charts, you know, those are both good ideas. So let's see which one works. The way my luck's been, I don't think it'll be me, but let's see. Maybe they both can work.
I just wanted some exposure to something to the long. Now, I don't think I'm going to get Netflix here. I was just about to talk COSM, and it's really close to the high of the day, so I'll just pull my black chart down. But that channel on Netflix is really not breaking. This is a 3-minute chart, the one I have up here. So 3-minute chart. We're not breaking that channel downside when that last little push happened on Netflix, so it's still showing signs of strength. But COSM, it just keeps on getting to this 9 level and rejecting. This is actually 880. So if you short it underneath the high of the day, to me, you're giving it an extra, like if you short 850 or 860, I don't know that the risk is 20 cents into 880. I think it's 40 cents worth of risk into 9, which is fine. There's room to VWAP. It could be down beneath $8 if it flushes. But this is a pretty strong trend setting up for a break. And when it's like this, I don't want to short in front of it. The only way I would short a level like this is if it breaks the high, which is perfect because it's 880, then has trouble through 9 even, and then you can short it back through either 9 or 880, giving it to that high of the day. Trapping some longs is how I would treat this if it's going to make that kind of a move. So we'll see what happens. I'm into Tesla right now. Yeah, you're right, Bob, out there. Netflix is stuck on VWAP, which is a bit of a problem. I want it breaking away from it. And it's almost like it's like you almost don't care. It's not that you don't care, but I almost don't care which direction it chooses out of this range. I just feel like if the market's going to trend at least a little bit, I know it's at a key price level. If it breaks down, I want to take a shot at it because there's so much room, at least to 280, 283, where we had it the last time. Or if it breaks up, yeah, I think there's room to 289. Either way, that gives you a couple of bucks, or well, maybe a little bit more to the downside, but a couple of bucks to the upside, $2 or $3 to the downside on Netflix. Just needs to break the channel. If it never breaks, forget about it, which is exactly what I want to say about this stock, NEO, which I shorted. You said this about reversing this morning?
Yeah, I know.
Like 11 was the only, just like I liked $5 on AMC, I liked 11 on NEO, and I just didn't reverse it. And it goes all the way to 1150 and then right back in, bounces off 11. If 11 breaks, I'm shorting NIO. I've had that order in probably, I don't know, I've had that one in forever, to be honest with you. So I'm just looking for a stop break of this flat bottom or whatever you want to call it here. I think it was even pointed out in the midday show, and I've liked this price, but if it never goes, understand Chinese ADRs have a strange tendency to just do nothing in the afternoon sometimes. So there's a good chance I'll just be canceling this order in 30 minutes because it does nothing.
Yeah, why isn't did you get out of Tesla?
No, this is NEO.
No, but it's not even showing you long Tesla.
I am long Tesla.
That's what I'm saying. We got
maybe we should, guys.
I was just because someone in the chat was like, "Isn't Neil long Tesla?" Yeah, we're gonna have to refresh that there, Lucas.
Like it's right here, you guys. If
oh
you
yeah,
pull my chart up.
Everybody knows.
Oh yeah, you guys know.
It's just someone was mentioning.
But you can't see my price.
Isn't Neil long Tesla? And I
140.23. It is. I am long 140.23. Exactly 23.
Yep, I like that. So we'll see if it's going to hold. We've been getting a little bit out there. We'll reset the board. Thanks for pointing that out, whoever that was. I was just going, oh, there it was. David Maldonado. What's up? Say hello to your Uncle Candy.
Candy Man.
Do you think anybody would know that one?
Toronto, he
Candy
won the World
Maldonado.
Series with the Blue Jays.
That's what I was going to see. I don't know if he was this year Oh, this is not the one that has all the players on it. Must have been 92. Was
he was left fielder for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay, good.
He's kind of a bit of a platoon guy.
This just has the scores on them. It doesn't actually
I like
have
Kenny Maldonado. He played for the Giants before that.
The best thing was Kenny Maldonado wasn't there. I think it was a big game for us or something, and he sailed a throw like way over. It was the best.
And he throws it over everything.
I don't know if he threw it out of play or what, but Kenny Maldonado.
I played outfield. I've done that before.
Oh, I want to say what's up to Trader Joe, who's watching us on a cruise ship. So our friend just got back from one. He went on RCL, Royal Caribbean, and said it was fantastic. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm a cruise guy, but maybe we'll go on a cruise at some point. Like we said, I'm heading to the motherland there in the summer. So we'll be going back to Italy there. That's, of course, I'm born here. I don't know why I call it the motherland. My father is, of course, Italian. Okay, 131.78. I just put another bid in for Apple. This is my problem, man. It's like it's just dancing around here, and because I have a position, I think like, okay, let's just take 10 cents out. But you wonder why I have 200 fills. Like even just this one short here for Apple's 131.90. We have some outs here at 81.82, then some outs at VWAP, which is 75, and then we got those low bottom 60s. After I get this fill, I'm done, because I really think that Tesla move off of 140. If it goes back up, I think the market goes, and then there goes Apple, right? So I would definitely watch out for that. I'm sitting on the bid here of Apple. One more, you know what? What's even the difference? Let's just bid. Oh, shoot. Just punched out some at 80 there, but that's okay. So I remove liquidity. That's why we get a little bit upset. But okay, Meta's in the money, 30 cents as well. We'll address that when we get back from Brendan.
Little one, VRNA, we talked about a little bit this morning, popping up again on volume here, guys. Just trying to test day highs right now, in fact. At 20 there, a whole bunch of volume comes back in to take out $20. Also wanted to throw this one out there. Not a lot of volume behind this move, but IRBT downside. Business Insider with a note suggesting their latest version. Remember, these are those robot vacuums that Amazon was trying to buy but got blocked. But apparently there's a camera in the vacuum, and apparently the camera can and has taken pictures of people in kind of compromised positions, let's just say. So the company came out and said that those specific units were test units and not the actual things, but there might have been some toilet shots floating around, guys.
You went to Tim.
Yo, hold on, Fahad. Hold on, Fahad. Yo, come on, man. We made you famous, bro. We don't get a coffee?
I still have like 2 followers on Instagram. Where's the famous?
You have 2 followers? Yeah. So that's
what's in the bag, Fahad?
So your 2 followers is 200% more than you had before the show.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look at it that way, all right, next time.
What would you like next time?
I just want 1 milk. That's it. Just whatever small 1 milk.
I just want apple fritter. I'll even throw you some. I got some change on the desk over there if you want to.
So we have a Tim Hortons like.
Easy
let's
on the
just
bald cam, yo.
Let's just go like. So it's first of all, it's power hour. So.
Oh my God.
Let's go, and let's hopefully. Can come
You
in
guys
a little
get to
bit.
see the lotion I put on
right there. Yeah. Hide that lotion.
You know what's hilarious about this? I was telling you this.
Here goes Apple. Yeah.
It was literally like,
watch out for Tesla.
Yeah, 140.
Let's just go back to the market quickly, and then we'll tell you the story about Tim Hortons and everything. Okay, so we are getting a nice move for Apple, and I missed that because I'm sitting there staring down, mean mugging Fahad for that. But you could see we did have a move down into the 60s again for Apple, so I missed it. Darn it. We'll bid 70 right there. That's too bad that we missed that, but that's okay. Hopefully we have a lower move now. Like just by me not getting out at 65 there, I probably cost myself way more than a coffee. But okay, nice little downside move. Here it is. Give me 70. Yes, sir. There it is right now. Go to Neil. You
Tesla's
have Tesla up. So
I have 23s long, but the bid on here is, I don't know, like it's about half, what is that, 400,000 shares on the bid. That's going to get eaten up pretty quickly. You can see it's trying to make a bounce off 140. And this is a situation where if I really, really loved this trade and said, oh, it's not breaking this key level, I would have added it like 01s, 02s. But the way Tesla broke 150, I'm not adding it 01s, 02s. I'm just going to take the long I have. If it bounces from here, gets to 60s, I'll get some out. If it bounces to 70, like to 141, I'll get it out again. But it just managed to hold the bid, which is fantastic. What I don't like is that the market is rolling over, and I'm going to flip over to show you guys. Whoops, wrong direction. We bounced off the lows on Intel. It doesn't want to break this bottom, unfortunately for myself. This is the low from yesterday as well, so I'd be a fool if I didn't take something out here. This market continues to go to the downside, and I've always been holding out for the low. A lot of times when I trade Intel, I'm just getting, I'm getting too many shares out at non-key levels, right? Like I'll layer it out here in front of VWAP, or I'll layer it out and all this nonsense instead of just allowing it to make the move. Well, if the move is back to VWAP, I'm taking some more shares out at the low of the day and being happy about it. AMC, but now Tesla's bouncing. So I just finished saying I got half of my AMC out there. I wanted to give the other half to this low here down at 490. So I'm half out of AMC, still looking for that 515 push. And of course, when I just explained how I wasn't going long more shares in front of like 140.01 or 140.02, what does it do? Tesla actually bounces off of that. So 140.00 is the low, and it's just bounced back into 50. I should probably not look a gift horse in the mouth. I just realized I was offering on the north side of 140.50, which a lot of times doesn't make sense. I should be offering on the south side of the 50 after it bounced off the evens.
So I actually, I'm out. Like I got out of a pretty decent amount of the Apple trade. We still have about half of what we initially had. So it did came in. We did have a 74 bid there, and then we had a 70 bid you saw me get out of. So now I'm gonna have one more bid down here near the 60s again, in case that flush does happen. Let's go to 66er right there, and then we'll see about grabbing that. So that's what we're gonna do right now on that one. I keep saying about that Tesla, that's really the hottest stock right now, I feel like. It's down 6.5% and still moving. That cause M is obviously getting some volume right now as well into it, as that's 52-week high is 111, 52-week low $1.69. So yeah, you can see a little bit of volume coming in to the green side here on cause M. That was a nice one spiking through 850, but right now you're back to the 50 period, trying to make a little bit of a dance here on cause M. I just want to talk about that because I thought some volume was coming in here, which it had. It keeps trying. Again, good name, good name to day trade. I just don't really trade these that well, apparently. So I'm going to stay a little bit away from those, but I do like cause M here as it is moving. Amazon's really pulled back. Meta is, it's a good thing we got something out there when this went down to 116.50 because Meta's all the way back upside now as well. But that's fine. My big bet right now to the short is with Senor Apple, as there it is right there, another 66. So these aren't diamond hands, kind of like mocking myself right now. But we do have, it's a 30-cent win, 25-cent win. Hopefully it can come back in, and then we'll see. But hey, if Tesla and Apple are kind of going to barcode like they're doing right now, there's nothing wrong with scalping some out.
Yeah, either short the pop,
short the pop.
Long the bottom.
Where do we think this market's going? Again, we're flat now.
Possibly nowhere, which isn't
so you got to take this.
I'm going to reload. This time, I did get some out there 140.5 on Tesla, so I will reload it in front of 140, but probably not at 01s, because my gut feeling is if you see 01s again, it takes out the bottom. So I'm going to try and get some at 11, and then just risk those new shares for what hopefully will be about 20 to 30 cents worth of risk. You never really know.
As if the low's 140 flat.
I know, and I just said I'm not going to take more shares. So this happened to me on CEI. CI bounced off, and the thing about a penny stock, so it's going to look like I was traded through here on the bid, but with a penny stock, it trades in like not just the 10th of a cent, but actually sort of going past that to the 100th of a cent. So you can get a dark pool wick down there. It didn't actually trade. This is like 8.16 where I'm sitting on the bid, and it looks like it traded 8.1, but that's just a dark pool wick down there. A lot of that was happening around the 8-cent level, where it was technically bouncing a little bit higher than that, but the dark pools were printing 8. Well, I missed my chance. It got back into VWAP and looks like it wants to turn it VWAP. So, I'm just going to get some shares out here because it is past, like Shawn just said, it's power hour. And I'm like, well.
I didn't even realize it either.
I know. I don't know if this gets back into the high of the day. And if it's not going to get back into the high of the day, then I should be taking some out on the way back up to 9. Like it's an 8-cent, like the range on the stock is 10 cents to 8 cents. So if all it wants to do is bounce 8 to 9, then you're taking, that's what you're taking on the trade because that's what it's giving you. So I'm going to take what it gives me here. And I keep looking at this VRNA to the upside. I can't believe I didn't trade this thing today. Like I looked at a lot of these small caps. a lot of these small caps, and this is actually breaking towards 20 after breaking 1950. Another one of these drug names. I felt like it was on our watch list, but maybe not. But a big breakout here. It is beneath that $20 breakout. It needs to hold 1950 previous high, take out the top. That sets up a long offset high of the day, and I just reloaded Tesla, so your Apple's probably working.
Yeah, Apple is working, but it went down to 55 or something. No, 50. I was at 55. It went to 57. So now we're back to 57 on Apple. Let's just see if that comes through right now for that trade. 57 coming through for Apple. Don't know. That's where I'm bidding now. It just went down. I mean, I have so many executions, it's hard to see, but there it is. I was at 55. It stopped at 56. So, there it is. There's the fill right there. So we'll go bang on that fill right now on Apple as that's coming to the downside. And remember, we were long and then we flipped it up. Boom. So sometimes, I say that all the time, like, you got to take your position and possibly flip it over sometimes. And that's what we just did right there with Apple. We went into the short, and now, of course, like I was just saying, our risk here of 131.89 is where we're short. Like, our risk was 15 cents. So right now, the fact that we're in the money 30, that's a 2-to-1. So, and we have, now we're out of more, but now we have about a third or so left. As I told you, we're taking a fill at 66, and then again, we got that 57. So far, so good on that one. As I see your Tesla's kind of just chilling. Let's just go back over to Walmart quickly. We'll watch. I don't think Tesla's gonna, I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx your trade. Okay, so there's Walmart. Oh, thanks for the coffee, Lucas. No problem on that one as well. Walmart looks like it's bouncing up a little bit from there as well. So 143.82 as a bottom right now. What's up? But yeah, I might. I'd message Randy for a coffee, but I think he's gone.
Randy's out of here. I can't believe you just talked about wanting a coffee, and Lucas just got one for himself. Anyways, let's throw him under the bus. But I'm now going to trail out this WFC. It's bouncing off 41 here. So many things are not breaking away from their channels. Like, I'll get to Netflix in a quick second, but if we can't break 41, I don't want this coming back above like 41.30. I've been holding out for it to flush through 41 even and get to 40. I don't think at this point that's going to happen. So just going to get my stop order, and you'll see this one. Essentially, I'll cross up to 41 like 40, so you can sort of see what will happen here, and then go put my trailing stop to 20. So trailing stop here at 20, throw an order out to 41.40 if the condition is met. That's a big if. But Tesla just made another bounce off this 140 level. And sorry, I have to zoom out, then zoom back in because I have this wick here. So there you go. Right back in, 140.5. I have offer in front of 75 and an offer in front of 141 even. So just playing this bounce, rinse, and repeat. But this is essentially a 40 to 50 cent range at best on Tesla. And I promised I'd talk about Netflix. Someone asked me what's the channel I'm looking for the breakdown. Not rocket science. 285.50, and I'm just underneath that. And look where it just keeps bouncing. Like, Netflix is trading a 60 cent range for the last 40 minutes. So you see what Shawn's doing with Apple. You kind of see what I'm mostly doing with Tesla and tried to accomplish there in CEI. If you have to trade inside the range, you have to trade inside the range, or just wait for something to happen. Wait for a breakout in one direction or the other. Otherwise, you just find yourself getting like shaken around. Like, if you just guessed either direction from the middle on Netflix, well, it doesn't follow through either way, and you're probably just getting chopped around, which is not a heck of a lot of fun.
No, like, I just saw Walmart I was going to look at Walmart. It's flat, actually. Here, I'll talk about it. I was going to talk about it before. That's Apple. There's Walmart. So we brought this to you right here. That story about the $3.1 billion settlement. It's not doing anything. So for me, we stay away. Whenever you see news come through and then nothing happening, it's probably baked in. Probably, not that it's an old story, but, the people that are covering Walmart know. It's still up 0.8 versus 0.23, so, still there. All right, just a quick little refresher there of what I was doing, because I know Neil just mentioned it as well. Apple did take a move up. I am not shorting that 50 period, although we're pretty close to it. I was waiting at 90. It missed us by 5 pennies. So, again, when you're scalping, 5 pennies does mean a little bit, so I'm going to wait. If we get that 90 again, it's actually 89, then we'll do it. But you could see good short, big short there, 90, and some good outs. So I feel like, 1, 2, 3 times the charm, but we've gone back up and forth here more than that. So maybe the ES, although it's not moving, maybe we've just touched a bottom there. like I said, that we'll probably, remember when we were up here, I was like, we'll probably, make this the bottom of the day, and it looks like basically to the penny there. This is what I'm talking about with switching it up and trading futures or something. Like that went really right down, almost, if you would have given yourself a stop, it would have been about 7 or 8 handles lower than where we would have took it. And now you're up in the money 30 handles. So again, 3-to-1 risk to reward there on the futures. It's not always like that, obviously. So it's a completely different beast. It's by no means the same kind of style of trading as this. You really wouldn't be scalping it the same way. Fees are a lot different. So here comes Apple now. We're going to go short again on this. There it is. Did we get it? No, we did not. Now we did. So now we're short Apple at that level, and it's a reload level. So watch out for it taking 132. We've already talked about that. If it takes 132, we're out of this trade. But so far, so good on continuously reloading this.
Yeah, and I just want to give an update because ICCM, I mentioned that I'm not going to reload this trade in front of 280. It's now looking like it's breaking down. This is not really a flat bottom breakdown, but it's a long consolidation breakdown. I don't even want this taking out $3 here because it is a stock that can do these little death candles, right? So if I'm not going to wait for 280 to go where probably everyone else has their stop. I'm just going to get it out. It just bounced off $3 here. I'm just going to get it out if it can't hold 3. That'll be a higher low. At this point, it's already given you it's given you multiple moves off this level. And if you're not happy with it, like this morning, we were long in the pre-market. It got you to 450. It's not going there again. At least not today, I don't think. So I'm just going to take the money and run. If it breaks $3, I'm going to be out of this. That'll be essentially break even on ICCM. Brendo.
Just reading through this note on SoFi again. I saw a couple of people mentioning SoFi. Trying to tick back to the upside here on some volume coming in, guys. So if you missed it this morning, we were discussing this 525,000 shares purchased by Anthony Noto again at, guess what? Yeah, an average price of exactly right here. So don't feel too bad because even he's flat on his trade so far.
I was so sure you were going to say 420 because then that would have been
classic,
funny, but I guess not. But that wouldn't have made sense because it's at 450, and if you look at it yesterday, if you bought it yesterday, well, no, not even yesterday. It wasn't at 420 yesterday, so I guess it's been bouncing away from that level. Much like I'll go to Netflix in a second because that's kind of frustrating. But much like Netflix or anything else, it needs to break out. Like it needs to take out like 462, and I need to see better volume for that to be better. But it's like every key level, it should just play it in both directions. Because if I was going long in front of support like I am on Tesla, then you'd be getting these scalp trades. I didn't like it. I actually want the breakdown on Netflix because there's room to run. But speaking of Tesla, no sooner do you get out, man, you should just be going both directions on these moves.
I was going to say, didn't it break yet? No.
No, but it's right back to, it's like hit the bottom, come back up, test halfway to 141, come back to the low. I feel like it, at some point I'm not reloading this one anymore. It does feel like it's going to break. So I've got out of all my 23s, I only have the 140.11 here. So it's risking 11 cents plus whatever slippage it will be, which quite frankly, sometimes it slips you 50 pennies, meaning like it'll break 140, stops will trigger, and you're not executed until it gets down to like 40 or 50 pennies. I'm thinking it's going to be better than that, but you never know. So I have an aggressive order to make sure I cross. But yeah, like if you're playing it both ways, I could have been long Netflix off that 285.50 instead of waiting for it to break short, and I would have just made $1 on it.
Oh shoot, there's decent size there.
Oh, I got triggered. Oh, that was a...
So it did.
Oh, it false broke.
Yeah, did you see
so
that?
So it got no slippage at all.
Yeah.
It got 95s, and then look at that false break. Now it's going to go. That's how it works.
I don't know if it's going to go, but I think that is what happened.
They run your stops.
I saw it. I mean, it was clear. I thought you might have got 95. You probably got the low because I saw.
No, it printed 80s.
Did it print
85?
Did it print 85s? Okay, I was going to say I saw 90s, 95. Sorry, and that was your print. So okay, actually. That's what happens all the time. I mean, just to show you what Neil's talking about, I'm back into Apple there, of course. But there, yeah. So there it is. Yeah, 80. Yeah, 88, something like that. And then obviously people get stopped out, and then they do the same thing we thought. Oh, got to buy it back. So I still feel like it is a downside move coming. But okay, I got to go over to my move here. Apple, we've just been really rinsing and repeating this one. Give me those 81s right now. Oh, I'm sitting there bidding. See, I held that level up, which is embarrassing. Here it comes back down to the downside. So there it is, man. Another you know, like, although Neil and I traded it very, very similarly there, trying to take some profit scalping it, you know, the amount that we're making right now on just on these little scalps, like, you have to think about it. You know, if you take 10 cents, how many times here, and then you get these, like, great moves to the downside, this is what scalping's all about, right? And it's just, it's my style of trade, and when it works great. And it just goes against, it doesn't go against another style, but like, you know, you could be short here 132. Look, when it drops down to 131, I'm only going to have a third of my position on. That sucks because you want the full load, right? But when you keep on, like, if you take out shares and then reload them, as long as you're reloading a decent amount of shares, that as long as you're doing that and getting out, then you're kind of making that, you're never going to make the same as holding for the big move, but it's a little less risky and for me a little more fun. But you know, then you get upset when the market goes down and you say, why don't I have any on? So we're going to try to do better on that one. Here we come into the 70s. We just reloaded 90, that's a 95 there. And now you're back into the 70s. So see what I'm doing? Like now I'm bidding 71. Oh, missed me. There it is. Yes, sir. So there we go again. So we'll throw down some money on that one. There it is. It's a nice little move here for it. And there goes your Tesla again, Neil. So just like we sort of called Tesla, I said that's what the move was. People just buy it back thinking it's a false break, but it is holding 140.
It's holding 140 again.
Interesting trade developing for Tesla. I couldn't be happier with this Apple, though. What's up, Brandon?
I mean, it's not a huge move, but heads up on FedEx here. Remember, they report aftermarket tonight, but this just happened, so the bottom got taken out there. I'm not seeing anything as far as anything leaked or to that extent, but I'll keep an eye out. But FedEx moving lower.
They're scared of the earnings. Don't be scared. Although FedEx, you've seen, look, FedEx has made some moves before on earnings. I'm kind of saying to myself, if Tesla reclaims the low, then everyone that jammed back into that long, this is getting ugly on FedEx, then everyone that jammed back into that long might be regretting that decision. FedEx just, I mean, it's breaking the 50 period. This is what I'm talking about. FedEx has made these moves before, so it going a couple of percentage points into earnings, there's still plenty of room left. And I'm looking at this beneath 165. A lot of times, like I traded Ford when there was a move like this and it broke a channel to the downside. And I'm always looking for that retracement back in. I kind of feel like that trade is a heck of a lot better last year, so I might not just jump into this if it comes back to the upside, unless I know exactly what's going on. But 163 does stand out for a bit of a bottom, at least what I could see. COSM is now flushing a little bit back into VWAP, so I don't know if I'm going to get that false break short, a false break of 880. It seems like it's just going to continue this trend into the upside, and the real play might just be, you know what, maybe just giving it a long in front of VWAP would make some sense. If it starts to consolidate like it did here, I might just grab a long that I can risk 20 cents on into the high of the day, because that's the trade that's making sense to me. ICCM is starting to move back into the upside. Oh, give me a break. I'll just try to get like 49s here. It just stalled at 350 again. So I'm just going to get some shares out at 49. I'm looking for this to get above VWAP and crack towards 4 even. But this is a level that it's already worked once. I don't think it's obviously not going back up to 10. But I don't think it's getting to 450 again. If it gets to $4, I'll be perfectly happy. This will be, and sometimes you wait for the key prices. This will be my best stock of the day because I only traded it at the one price I liked with the exact same bottom both times. 3 long, 280 support, and it's now worked twice in a row. I wish it was the only thing I traded. Unfortunately, I didn't trade Meta with this much discipline.
Yeah, Meta was a good one today.
Was it though?
No, but at least we're being able to hold it. I'm still looking at that Tesla dancing. So here's Meta right now doing
so
absolutely
crazy.
nothing as well. Just barcoding. We are short. I mean, I'm waiting for a drop. That may not happen. You know, cue me saying there goes Apple. There goes Apple down to 131.60. We took an out. You guys know we were waiting there. Now we're waiting in the 50s. Hopefully it will melt back down in for us. Let's just check on our Carvana trade. All right, that was fast, and I'll move on that as nothing's happening on Carvana. What else? I'm just trying to see if there's anything like hitting some scanners right now that I'm looking at. They're saying Microsoft maybe making a little bit of a move here. Let's go to NQ just to see if that is the case. No, that's not. So I don't know what that scanner was all about. And yeah, just looking here, we do have trade ideas, right? So sometimes you can look here, like these are little races that have been happening. I did reset this. So they're saying XPeng and Unity. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to look at. Unity. Unity has been ripping today, I believe. Upside, or it was going one way or the other. Let me just double check it before we say that. No, not there wasn't there, maybe Brendan can check. I feel like there was some kind of news or something that I saw on Unity, but yeah, today it's not really doing anything, so maybe that's not, maybe it's a nothing burger. There was QuantumScape, of course.
QS was moving.
Yeah, QS is moving for sure today. Wow. Damn QS, man. We always talked about that fading that move, and there it is, right back down to the downside there. You know, they sent a battery somewhere. Maybe it got sent back. Hard rejection there, down to 580 right now for QS. Trying to, again, be back to its all-time low, man. I mean, this was another SPAC that came out and made its move up to 40 bucks. I didn't even think it went higher. Yeah, there it is, 70. Like, talk about trapping. You know, I don't know where this was as a SPAC, but if this came out at 27 and went to 140, I mean, that's pretty amazing. And then now you're all the way down here to $6 again for QuantumScape. So, you know, that move definitely fell back out. So I'm guessing Unity was nothing. And then Brendan did, when we were talking about consumer confidence, it is tomorrow at 10 a.m. So Brendan brought us that 35 minutes ago. Tesla, man.
It's still holding 140. So my new plan for Tesla, because at this point, I feel like it's going to break the bottom. So when you have a wick bottom, I got to zoom in. If we go to my chart there for a second, there we go. When you have a wick bottom through a key level, the way I like to play it is, okay, the first time it didn't work, but if it gets through the second time, rather than just short 140, I'm just going to take the fresh low short, 139.85 here, and if it takes that out, I'll go short. I can give that back to the quarter, risk about 50 pennies on that. And if it goes $1, fantastic, right? Like you get kind of your 2-to-1 move. I'll probably take some out at 1-to-1 and then the rest out if it goes to 139. But we've seen this before where you get to like an options eligible price. I know it's not Friday or anything, but you just hang around and you go nowhere off 140. That's why I'm not taking a 140 break. It's got to make a fresh low for me to get into this trade. I'm just continuously covering CEI around VWAP here. Like every 5 or 10 minutes, probably going to have to go ahead and do that. I don't want this breaking back down. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to reload this. I was on the bid to get more shares in front of 8. Doesn't matter at this point. I don't think I'm going to see that 8 cents again. If I do, I don't want it. That's just the reality. Someone just said, Cameron Craig, how often do you guys have red days? I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm usually around 75 to 80%. So like 1 day in 5. You know what? I'll say this though, because I was hearing the afternoon show, and like Luca was saying he wasn't having a fantastic day. You know, it was tricky during lunchtime. And I actually said this to one of the traders when I was grabbing a tea. I don't drink coffee in the afternoon. That I was close. I told you guys this at the beginning. I was close to flat. You know, sort of not up, not really down after what happened this morning with Meta, which was ridiculous. For every good trade, there was like Meta and then Moderna shorts that didn't work out for me. But during lunchtime, it just sucked. Like everything I touched at lunch, it's like this is the flush on Ford. I'm just working short in front of 1150. It breaks out and hasn't even looked back. Like everything I touched was just no good. And then trading at lunch, which a lot of times gives you these decent range trades or short off the highs. Like I had Moderna a couple of times here. That continued to go. And even where I was shorting it, it's still no good if I just jump back at the same prices on Moderna. It was a frustrating like midday. Like the close show's actually not been all that bad. I obviously wish I'd gone long Netflix off that level. Netflix is still kind of bouncing off here, but it's not really going anywhere, and that's the problem. Oh, I have to cancel my Neo break. So rule of thumb, if you're looking for a move in a Chinese ADR and it's still doing this come 3:30, then you should just cancel a stop because I don't want this anymore. I'll wait for tomorrow. 11's still a valid level. It'll be here. Well, I hope it will still be around here tomorrow because that's been good in both directions, right? It was a decent bounce off that level initially on that flush down that we had yesterday. And then today, it was good for a short into 1080. Then it was good for a reversal that I did not take into 1050, and I'm now looking for this to break down at 11. Hopefully that'll be something we can do tomorrow.
All right, here we go. We're going to get out of Apple. We just reloaded the last time here at 132 or at 131.95 we took. We're going to get out on a break higher. There it is, breaking higher, and we're out. So that's that. You know, we get stopped out of that trade, and that's the whole point. No damage really done. I mean, you know, we at the end of it all, you know how much we took? A 6-penny hit there. So, you know, good trading so far there. Now we'll wait. You're now breaking higher on some of these levels. Now I'm debating going long on Apple. Again, but the market's not really moving, so I don't want to get like, you know, dancing around here back and forth on Apple at all, just to tell you guys like, you know, what we're doing. I actually opened up my broker statement here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trading days, and 1, 2, plus today 3. So I'm 9 and 3 in 12 days, green. So that's what that is. Just open that up for you right there on the show. We have a policy not to show, but I mean, just, you know, trust me when I tell you, I'm not here to do anything different than that. So 9 out of 12 so far this month. So that's what that is. All right, let's go back over now. We are red today. Like I mean, no matter what we do there. I mean, if Apple would have really tanked there, maybe we would have been able to do something. But okay, now, well, not really tanked, just had to go down $1 and we would have been flat for the day, but that didn't happen. Right now, there's a bar coding happening in the afternoon. Like, I really wish there was trades here. You could see Meta right now starting to go back up to the upside. Like, you guys tell me, oh shoot, we have those bad wicks. This is why I'm down today, like because of this. And, you know, the ridiculous thing is checks notes, Meta long, 113, 115. You know, we're long here. We got out when it broke. And I was like, nah, Meta's, you know, short, like short 115, short 116, short 116 again. Like, it was just ridiculous. And then eventually the short started paying off. So we're able to make a little bit back, but that still is what it is for me today on Meta. I'm still thinking about a short. We're up 2% right now. You're starting to try to break out a little bit here on Meta, but nothing's happening. So I feel like the best thing to do would be go over to a name that's actually moving. Yeah, nope, AMD not. Oh, one trade that we had that was a great trade that I forgot to mention to you is this NVIDIA short, 162.50. We actually got out of a little bit there, but then it tanked. We had 162.50 right there. You can see that. You can see the tick right there. We actually have 2 ticks. Right there, we have 1 there. We got out and back in, and then look at it. So this is a good example of risk management. 162.20, out right there, 162.60. That's a 40-cent hit. Then we took the short again, and then look what happened. Then we got right there. That's 162.50. First out, 161.10. That's $1.40. Then all the way down there, that's $2 on NVIDIA. So that was a good trade for me, man. Lose 40 cents, then make 250. So just goes an example there on how I like to trade. But thanks for the question about the nets. We're setting up for a big dump? I don't know. I don't think so.
It doesn't really feel like it. We got the early look on the imbalances from Financial Juice. They published it, and I'm seeing 174 million to buy. So, I mean, when it's that small, that could go either way, obviously. Just watching Meta here, like, it's crazy how strong this has been. Well, it's not that crazy, but look at this sideways action. I'm glad I'm ignoring the stock. It has been hugging 117, quite frankly, since almost noon. Like, that's insane. It's so easy to overtrade on something like this. And I actually just canceled my Tesla. Remember I said if it makes a fresh low, I'm gonna take that short. It's past 330 now. This is really going sideways. Like, if you zoom in on it, yeah, you can pick out that it's been making some moves in here, but this is some serious sideways action where you get chopped up. Like, the one stock that is moving is bloody Netflix, man. I shouldn't say bloody Netflix. I think someone's long in here, so good for them. But when I bounced off support level I liked, I wanted it breaking away to the downside. Clearly that didn't happen, so I was looking, it's the stock I wanted to look for the short. If it broke, it's now just running higher and showing all kinds of strength into the close here. It's probably far too gone for me to be able to get into this now. Watch out if you're trading that COSM. It looks like that is going to break. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm probably jinxing it. It looks like it is going to break down into VWAP. I wanted this to hold above $8. You're not seeing that happen, so I'm going to have to walk away from the idea of the long here in COSM, at least for today. It doesn't look like it's going to get to that $9 area. But Netflix is a bit of a kick in the junk. So strong there on Netflix. Tesla's still making some moves in there. There was one other name I wanted to get back over to. I do still have some trailing stops, but when this market keeps on bouncing, I got to get out of Intel. It's not breaking the low of the day. It's just gliding back up toward VWAP, so there's really no point, just hang on to this. I got all these bids down here that are pretty much no good. We're not going to see any of those 26s, those low 26s, but I'm going to start covering more shares down around here. I held out for the low of the day, but like everything else, it's not breaking the low of the day. And much as I want it to happen, it's not going to happen just because I want it to.
No, it's not. Tesla, again, trying to break 140. It looks like it's going to do that. We just reshorted some Meta right here. Again, at the top of the range. We just saw it make, so this is, again, the kind of trade that I want to be doing, right? We just saw it make that top there, coinciding with its previous top right here of 117.06. So there it is right there, 117.02. It did come into play. I reshorted on the way back in at 93 or whatever that was. So again, nothing to do with the price. I just hit the short, back down in because we did see it make that level. It's 334. Do we have an early imbalance there? I didn't see.
We did, 174.
174, okay, so very, 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 very small. We just got an 80 fill, so whatever, we took 92 to 80 there. Again, out of very minimal amounts right now on Meta. That was 15%. So here we go. If it takes out 117.10, we're gone on Meta, but that, it's a trade that we're here for, and it's coming in again right now. We may average into it. Whatever. Let's just put that trade right back on that we just got out of. So we'll sit here and take another short, and then if we're able to get that, good, and then we'll see about Meta hopefully coming back into the close. Remember, there it is. We just got it. Remember, now it's ripping. That imbalance has turned around the last couple days. Although this is a small one, 174 to buy. Maybe it does turn a little bit, and we do get a little sell number coming into the close. There goes, oh no, that's not Tesla. Thought it broke, but I changed the chart. Okay, there it is. Well, it's right there.
So someone just asked, Dan McIsaac asking, when does the money start flowing back in the market when the new year comes? I mean, typically speaking, you get decent volumes right away. Sometimes you might wait a couple of days because like the first few, you always want to see like what day of the week after the holiday for the New Year's happens. So sometimes it'll be like the following Monday, but if it's right at the beginning of the week, the money comes right back in. So all I'm doing right now, I'm looking for anything breaking the tops here because with 330, it's 335, getting new positions on has to be a pretty key level. I'm still holding on to AMC for that top. I still have the 5 long there so it can work, but I'm just looking for things that are breaking highs. And what I'm kind of doing, just to give you guys an idea, is I have like some of these on my trade idea scanner, I'm looking at some of these high-a-day breakouts on momentum, on good volume. That's what's bringing me to like OSG and CGBD. And then all I do is just go over, do I like the chart? Is there something worthwhile happening on the higher time frame, like OSG, not really breaking this 310? CGBD, if I flip to that one, on the 15-minute, like, yeah, it's breaking highs, but it needs to clear like 1450. Because you want to process, okay, something's moving right now, I want to get to it because the market's range bound, so I'm just using my scanner to be able to do that. And while I have you, so we're talking about that, look, the reality is we don't really do affiliates, it's the only one we have. There's a reason for that, because we actually use this, and traders have been using this on this floor for years, but we just started a promotion. If you drop TraderTV 30, it's 30% off for trade ideas. I think that's pretty good. If you don't like it, you don't have to renew anything you get. But we always talk about trading what's moving. So whether you have your own scanner set up, use your whatever platform you have to your advantage, or use something like this, I think it can be worthwhile. That's how I'm kind of going through scanning in the afternoon, looking for things that are moving in real time, guys. So I just wanted to give you guys that shout out.
Yeah, good one. Trade Idea is a great product, very, very stable. We've talked about that over and over again. Yeah, and 30% off. Wow, that's the best deal we've had. So if you are interested in that, let's do that for sure.
What was that sweater you guys were talking about that was 30% off that was still like $200?
Oh, Essentials. It's the Essentials brand. I was talking about it the other day, right, when she was wearing it, and then we ran into Katrine. I'm going to try to get Katrine for the bell.
A $200 sweater.
Yeah. I mean, Aloe. I mean, there are certain brands that are like that, right? So again, you pay for the quality of the shirt
fair
and the style, but you know, to me,
This didn't cost $200, I'll tell you that.
this did. No, I'm just joking.
That's
that's a lot of money. But I mean, again, you know, it's like Balenciaga bags and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's whatever makes you comfortable wearing
You know
them.
what? That's the thing. Like,
you know, it is what it is, right?
everybody spends money on something that they think is valuable that other
There
people
goes
are like,
Tesla.
that's nonsense.
All right, so we're short Tesla right now, breaking that bottom.
Of course I don't take
Let's just take a quick scalp on it, as there goes Tesla to the downside. So there you go. Your boys got this one. You did not get filled, or?
No, I canceled
you
the
canceled
order.
it. Okay,
I'm like,
so
it's too late in the day.
Yeah. So we're still in it right now. We just take it on that break of that 140. So we have 139.90 right now to the downside for Tesla. So quick out, 90s out, 60s. So hey man, we'll go 30 cents right there on a third. Now let's see what happens. That just flew in there on this trade. So let's see if Tesla wants to continue its downside move right now. Where do we get out on this one? This is the first trade we've made today on this. So there it is, nice move. I'm just gonna use the 50 period. I know that sounds ridiculous. Maybe we can up it a little bit. Maybe 140. I mean, look, man, to lose, honestly, we just took 30 cents. So even if I lose back here to 140.60, it's a small hit. That would be 60 cents on the last 2/3. So it would still be a hit, but well worth the risk as we hold out on Tesla short. Right now, short 90 or 87s on Tesla. We just got a 60 fill. We actually got a 59, I think it was, fill there on that. So let's see where we go. Bottom 57 now for Tesla. New position alert into the short. How far will it go? Nobody knows. I mean, I thought that 140 was already pretty low for Tesla, and I thought it was going to be a good long. But here we go. It's cranking lower. So is Meta right now as well, as that's starting to come back in a little bit. So far, so good on these trades, guys. We're short 117.08 right here on Meta.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that's about finding opportunities out there. So I'm going to take an opportunity to tell you guys, we're not even at 1,000 likes. And this is, in this market, trust me when I tell you, you probably can figure it out. It's not the easiest to make sure that you're disciplined, find only good trades, find only key price areas. That's what we're trying to do for you guys. It's all free. As a matter of fact, I'm about to tell you, look at Netflix. That level was ridiculous. I should have gone long. I was looking for it to break down, but support was good. The other level I like is right up top here. So if it comes back to the high of the day, I'm going to take a shot shorting on Netflix. But we ask you guys for one thing. Well, actually, that's not true. We ask you for a few things. A, enjoy the show. B, come back. C, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and then pay it forward, right? The bigger the community is, the less trades we're going to miss out on, less opportunities that we're not going to be able to not going to afford missing out on. So I want to short Netflix off the high of the day. The good thing about Tesla breaking down is it gives that much more weakness to the overall market, as it is a big component of the S&P 500. So if that's going to roll over and continue to test lows, I kind of feel like some of these other names that are at the highs might struggle to get through the top. The caveat being it's 340, so they're not going to be in this trade forever. Punch in and whatever.
What happened?
Trying to get 288s. It's like I'm sitting there talking about it. I'm like, oh, it's about to get 288 half. Now I'm trying to get 288s here, and you can see it start to go run down. I'm not chasing it. Like, once I put one order, put a couple of orders, I'm not really going to chase it down forever because I am playing Netflix off the high of the day. And there's always a price you don't want to pay, right?
Come on, Elon, you need to raise a little bit more capital here, Elon. There it is, 139.45 now, starting to come in again. We have shares. We're going to put a bid at 139 flat or so to see if we can get that fill as it's coming back into the downside. Our Meta did go 20 cents, and I wasn't paying attention because I was watching this Tesla. But here we go, Tesla right now, just so you know, I'm going to throw it to Brendan. 139.07 randomly is where we are bidding. What's up, Brendo?
Probably a late day mover here. TAL, that Chinese online education company, just testing at least day highs. Did make a run up to 925 once again. What a daily chart this thing has. Back to 925, up 13% today.
I meant to look at, it was TAL and EDU that I meant to look at, and I feel like if I bring up EDU, and I eventually got 288 on Netflix. I wasn't going to chase it. I was sitting at the even dollar and eventually got it. But I was going to look at EDU because I think both of these names have gone a little bit too far. But thankfully, I didn't fight this short. It looks like $9 broke. EDU maybe is a little bit more extreme since it's a reverse split. But these have gone, these have gone now about 50% from that $6 level. And if you look at when this capitulated, I feel like there is going to be a massive turn on this stock. The scary thing is it could get to 10, turn on 10, but that's not even halfway to the last gap fill it had. Like this went from $20 to $5 in a hurry, TL in particular, but it's EDU that stands out to me. And I'm probably going to be looking for shorts in EDU every single day until it gets to like, if it breaks $40, fair enough, but the daily chart on this reverse split just only been trending a lot higher. I understand things are opening back up, and a lot of the pressure that got put on these from the government, or at least we don't try to get into politics, but it's true from the government. A lot of that's being alleviated. I just feel like this has gone too far. If it's $40 tomorrow, I'll probably have a shot at that at 40. It's just the risk reward ends up getting really, really nice, because when these go down, man, do they ever fall. And that's something I want to be involved with when I see moves like this.
All right, okay, oops. All right, I was just gonna, I canceled my Tesla, but let's just put it back in. There we go, we'll take 10 out right there for Tesla. I mean, that's gonna be a good one there, we'll go awesome. We were waiting all day basically for that 140 break. Came in, we did the same thing. We didn't take the 140 break. We took sort of that bottom break of 139.85, whatever it was. We wound up getting a much better, not much better price, we get 87s. So there it is right there, 140. You know, and I say this even to my, you know, all the time. I talk about trading even to my poor wife. And I'm like, you know what, man, you just got to be patient. I don't say man, but, you know, you got to be as patient as you can be with trading. And I think that's something that, you know, I'm trying to learn. When this kind of collapses like that, you know, I don't even have to worry about going into scout mode. You know, it's like when, here we go, nice downside move. You know, it's like when Meta is doing this kind of crap, you know, that's when I have to worry about scalping. You know, so it's about finding names that are moving that make sense. So Meta definitely not making too much sense right now. We should have just, I have very little amount of shares on that, obviously. But there goes Tesla right down to 139. What I'm getting at is when a stock is trending, it's way easier to hold. And I think that's what we're going to do here with Tesla, as Elon Musk must be selling like this. All of a sudden, man, it just got triggered. Like that 140 break is pretty epic there with only a few minutes left. I wonder if there's a big imbalance coming. Like it's already, there it is, man. Hit the alarms. We're now $1 in the money on this Tesla trade. I'm not even looking at my other stocks right now. So there it is right here. These are the levels that we're talking about. It's come in right here into 140. This goes back to October of 2020 right now. So we're looking at Tesla back into levels from October of 2020 right now, cracking a lot lower. Here's the short at 140. There's the out at 139.50. There's the out at 139 flat. And we continue to make the move to the downside, regardless of what the futures are doing. We called the market green today. Looks like that'll be give or take pretty right. If the market goes down 0.5 when we made it, so pretty flat. But there goes Tesla. I'm not going to get out of this until the end of the day. Let's see what happens with this Tesla trade.
And the only trade I just got, well, not the only trade. We have a few trades on, a couple we put on since we got in. But heading to the downside as well, we grabbed the 88 short on Netflix. Now you can see 280 half is the lower high here. So 1-to-1, 287 half. I take some out at 1-to-1 because I don't want this trade to turn into a loser if it takes out the high. Just looking for a retracement. The market was strong. I felt like Tesla breaking down would cause a turn in with some of these other names that afforded me this move. Now, does it get to VWAP? That's probably going to be determined in about 3 minutes. Either it takes out this high here, which if I'm trading this earlier and it's not 350, I might be thinking about reloading, giving it to 289. But at 346, I'm always tightening my stop. It hits first target, tightening that stop. If I get wicked out when the imbalances come out, so be it. But it is a small buy imbalance. Netflix is a relatively strong stock, so it's pretty binary. Either it breaks this channel and I get out come 350, or maybe I get a sell imbalance in my favor because I've got the short on and we can pull back into VWAP. So I'm just going to adjust my stop order. Probably should have done that before I was talking about it there. But you always want to have a plan of action. Like Dan McIsaac was like, I hope I didn't get you off that Tesla breakdown trade. I like the same breakdown trade. As a matter of fact, it was 85. I wasn't going to take the 141. But typically, like at that time of day, you got to make a judgment call. Like, do you want to put new positions on? Do you want to take high of the day, low of the day breaks? I was kind of at that point hunting for a small cap that might make a late run. that was my decision. And when it's wrong, you just got to be able to move on from it. I'm glad Shawn was able to get the trade so you guys could see it. One other thing I got to go do is get out of more CEI. I just keep taking more shares out of VWAP, and I should have just taken it all out. This is probably headed back down to 8 cents. So I'll accept that reality and just get it out right here. So I'm all done with CEI till tomorrow. It is tomorrow that CEI is doing its 1-to-50 reverse split. So it's not pulling a cause M. As a matter of fact, I think if it tries to do any kind of a squeeze to the upside, I'm more likely going to be looking for shorts, but I'll try to be more disciplined than I was on day 1 of cause M. I'll trade CI tomorrow like I traded cause M day 2.
All right, good one. Yeah, Tesla minus 7%. You're right, Brendo, on that one as it continues to go to the downside. Like we've been saying, man, I mean, I'm not a buyer. I sold Tesla, you know, quite frankly, and you guys know that. We talked about it. I sold this thing, I don't know, I don't know what it was. Well, I'll find out. I mean, I tweeted it out the day that we did it. But Tesla downside move here. I think it was 320, something like that. But I don't know. My prices are confused with Netflix, so I'll find out about that. But it doesn't matter. We are in that short right now as it continues to go to the downside. Just a quick update. Carvana out of that one, so hit the sirens for that. We got out at 117 just a couple seconds ago. So that's good. Sorry, 417. Maybe eventually 117, I don't know. But that's, so the only thing we have now is Tesla. Now, you know, the kind of something that we've been talking about, and someone just messaged it right there to me on the chat, was do I ever like average into this trade? So like take more shares. Wow, this name is
Average up.
honestly, yeah, average down or average into it. It doesn't really matter. Long or short, I mean, average up, average down. It's holy shoot, man, this name, like, good thing we're not getting into this till the close, as it's just now $1.50 in the money and just continuing to bleed. I'm going to say no. I don't do that, and that's something that I should be doing more as my trading sort of journey keeps getting built. I should be taking more shares when they're winners and not averaging into losers. I should be averaging in and down with the winners, but I don't do that. That's something that definitely I need to do better for sure.
All the best trades I find end up having that happen.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ford, sorry, that's not Ford. With only 4 seconds to go, there's Ford right there. We're gonna see these imbalances light up in just a couple seconds. We'll see where it goes. Open Door with a big bid there, 3.26 million.
Again?
Mullen with a bid. Comcast with the sell. Our friend XPeng, what's that doing? Probably some downside moves as well. Nice little downside move. Apple's a sell right now as well. We got out of our meta. That's probably heading to the downside as the market is just going lower. Here we go, Tesla. Here we go. $1.70 now in the money. Did that Open Door just... Open Door is $1.26.
Yeah, it's super cheap. That's
like we want to put Sam Bankman-Fried in jail, but there are other names out there that have robbed billions of dollars from the market, and down goes Open Door here today. So you guys can do your research into that. But there goes Tesla now, $1.70 in the money.
Yeah, Intel came out a bid, so I just punched out. It's near the low of the day, but it's a buy and balance of 1.2 million. Not seeing anything too crazy. The best names out there, like Mullen's a penny stock. That's an imbalance of 4 million on Mullen's insignificant. I would say XPeng was the interesting one with 1.4 million to sell. But when I pull it up, it's kind of at that high. Not exactly a gigantic move. This is a time of day where I got to get out of some of these positions. I've been holding on to Wells Fargo all day, and Wells Fargo doesn't run my stop, doesn't break the low. It's just holding $41. So I'll make a mental note that $41 has some buying on it on Wells Fargo. But I want to shout out to Brendan for this because the banks were relatively strong. Wells Fargo had to push up on a settlement. But a lot of times it's about that failed breakout. When a stock tries to go and rejects the breakout, it was just good off the 42 level. The other banks were good. Well, at least I should double check. When I checked at lunchtime, all of the banks except for Wells Fargo were having a good day. It's entirely possible that's no longer true. I just also got out of ICCM. Got to start covering trades. It broke down at 3. I did not wait for it to break 280 or 3 even like earlier. I just got out when it broke this channel to the downside. Not as good as the morning, but quite frankly, when you test the level a second and the third time, you're not expecting as big of a bounce. Way too many people involved in it. And then same thing with AMC. I might have to wait for that 515 till tomorrow. It bounces a bit off VWAP here, so I'm just going to continuously cover this one. That 515 is probably valid. I hope there's a chance to break 515 tomorrow because there's a lot of room on AMC This is the 515 level. You've got Friday's low. You've got the opening range resistance yesterday on Monday. And you've got today's high, which double topped, all at $5.15. Someone's selling a boatload of shares at that price. I think if it breaks through, it's a pretty good setup to get to 550. That's one I'll have for tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, look, I mean, that's part of it, right? Set up your trades for tomorrow, like even right now. We just tweeted out some of the talk there about Tesla. Hopefully you guys can see that. Thanks to Mark for that. I just saw Mark here. We're still going with those tweets. There it is right now, 138. Trying to hold 138, man. We're $2 in the money. I'm going to hold this till the close, so we can throw it in the mock or not. But right now it is into the, I don't even know if it's a sell for the mock. It doesn't matter. But we're going to wait to see here. Once we take down 138, then how far do we go? We still have four minutes. We still have 7 minutes left before this day is over with. We don't want to give too much back though, but there is definitely sellers here, to say the least, on Tesla. So, I mean, you know, we tried to bump up there. I don't even know if that's real, but I don't know, maybe if we take out 50 or 60, what's this level, 70? I think we could probably get out of it if it takes down 70 to the upside. Again, this doesn't mean it's gonna just continue to sell off all day. I'm gonna have an out. There's only a couple minutes left. Let's just do that right now. 75 break on Tesla, we're gonna get out. So I'm gonna put that order in right now. There should be enough liquidity that I don't have to worry too much about it. We'll cross up about 10 pennies for that one. And then worst case, looks like it's gonna go, you know, worst case scenario, you know, we gave up there, even if we got the bottom there at 20 and we get out at 80, we'll give up 60 cents. You know, sucks to do that. But again, you know, if we keep taking it out every 50 cents or whatever, then we would have been out already. So let's hold this for that bottom break of 38. Hopefully that can come in. And other than that, I'm about, you know, as clean as a whistle right now. The only trade that I have on, although I got to make sure I cancel some of my stop orders. I had Tesla one higher, nothing else. Intel there is a bid, 26.50, okay. Just watching here the 1 minute, nothing happening on that. Open door, yeah, I mean, Mullen, do you want to check Mullen, 22 cents? Nah. That break was good at 25, but other than that, not much.
Pretty much dead there. I have one leg out left on AMC. It's a little frustrating that COSM makes the move at this time of day, but at 355, you know, I'm clearly not going to be making this trade. But it did break the high of the day, got through 9, wick top to 920. If this was like 3 o'clock, like the way I would like to short it would be like if it breaks back below 880, then give it to the high of the day, play it back into VWAP. If anything, this is again just something I want to set up for tomorrow. And the reason that I wouldn't make that trade is, it's just where is the time for it to work? I have 4 minutes for it to work, and then you got to be able to get out. And that's sort of the problem there. It has to happen quickly. And a lot of times these late day runners, it's right around 4 o'clock or sometimes after 4 o'clock when you get that move. It's exactly what we saw the other day. It's about $1 billion to sell here. That imbalance is still to the sell side. And all I got left is going to be AMC. I swear, like, COSM makes a move now. AMC, if it breaks 515, cancel. I have 2 orders in there. But if it breaks 515 at 4 o'clock and runs to like $6, that will be awfully annoying. But sometimes it's just how it goes.
I mean, yesterday we had we were watching Tesla. Let me just check and see what it did in the aftermarket yesterday. I can probably zoom back out here. Yeah, okay, so yesterday, pretty flat into the close. I remember, was this yesterday? This is the, no, this is the 19th. Yeah, okay, that today's the 20th. Okay, so yeah, yesterday didn't do much. I was just gonna see, you know, did we just continue to tank after hours? We didn't. So we also made that bottom yesterday at 150. We talked about that here today. And then, yeah, nice move down for Tesla. Still going, waiting for that 138 to break. So again, let's take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to Bears vs. Bulls today. Thank you to Luca and to Sharif for the midday show. Absolutely fantastic there. Decent job for Lucas and Fahad today. And then, you know, again, I want to thank all the viewers for coming through. Here goes Tesla to the downside. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe. That's what it's all about. Here's Tesla now at day's low, down to 138 and change. Like I said, I'm holding this for the close, so wherever it goes from here. But there goes Tesla. That was honestly, like, this trade was for me all that we needed. It was a good trade to the downside there, and that's the trade. So thank you so much, man. I know Ivan, I know Yvonne, Ivan. I mean, we are getting greedy here, but honestly, not much has changed for me to get out of this. I wasn't getting greedy. Like, I had stops out. You know, like if it went back up, I had the stop out. But now look, now we're just tank city into this one. We've had multiple dollar winners. We took 250 on NVIDIA. We're taking 2 right now on Tesla. So let's see if it can continue its move down. We only have 2 more minutes, and then we have closed this trade. So hopefully this will be a good one. Let's see if we get 136. I mean, I'm just throwing out numbers. I have no idea where this is going to go, but there's a lot of liquidity. You know, it's only done 150 million shares today.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla is basically doing, on a daily basis, it's like your volume, notional volume leader, I should say. There's always a penny stock out there that might beat it in terms of total volume, although today maybe there isn't. Actually, that's not true. CI is going to do more, but CI is 8 cents. FedEx is going to be reporting after the bell. We get CCL, Carnival reports tomorrow morning because they always like to report as close to the open as possible. I bloody well hate it. I think that it should be a rule against dropping a report between 9 and 9:30.
Well, yeah, for sure.
It's actually pretty ridiculous, I think. Like, you're going to report in the morning and then report at 8 to 8:30, like everybody else pretty much does. You do the report, like, you can't really digest it well enough before the open, I don't think, to do your diligence. Sometimes we get good trades there, but FedEx still trending to the downside, in front of earnings, down 3% here. And we showed you the daily chart before. It's already broken the 50. This is a $140 stock. But the move that this put on when it broke down from 200, let's just say things don't go well. It's not crazy if you see a 140 print in the aftermarket. I'm not trading it in the aftermarket. I think people that, if you do that kind of a thing, good luck to you. The volatility and liquidity is a bit of a problem, and I don't think it's been getting any better. That's why you see these outsized moves on earnings, because liquidity is so poor. That's why I think you could see, if they have a poor guide, you could see a 140, and they're already starting to sell into it.
All right, here we go. Last minute of play in this period. We are going to the downside right now for Tesla. I put a bid of 137.50, so that's where I'm going to try to get out here as we're starting to crack lower, lower, lower. There's 80s. There's 80s again. This is pretty good, man. We may just take this out right here, right now as we get into the close. It is just absolutely collapsing here for Tesla into the close. Hey, man, this is a good price for me. I'm going to punch out. There it is. Bang, right there. The oh my God trade is in the building. We are now out of Tesla. For me, that's, you know, pretty much a day saver right there on that. So good trade so far on Tesla. Would have we got the 50? Maybe we would have.
Oh, the bell.
But it doesn't matter. The bell still needs to go, and there is
now.
the
Do it
bell.
now. Yeah.
All right. So
What were the boys in the back?
I don't know what they're doing, but something 97.
I got
somebody.
distracted a little bit in the back just now because I was supposed to give the countdown, because I saw, like, Justin's holding his phone. He's got, like, Candy Crush on his phone or something as he's about to ring the bell. Maybe it wasn't Candy Crush, but that distracted me, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't know what was so crazy in the back.
I don't really see anyone making any money, but
97, I don't know what 97
look at this fill on Tesla, guys, to close the day right there. 73. So we just got the short at 139.90, out 137.73, and that took all of 20 minutes to make that. So that's a banger trade right there to close the day. We're really happy with that. So really couldn't be happier. Let's go over to Brendan to see how we finished the day.
You had to be looking at individual names, to say the least, this afternoon. The overall market not doing a heck of a lot. Here's how we end the day, guys. S&P basically flat. 0.08 still in positive territory, so we'll take it. 0.4 there for the Dow. The NASDAQ just 0.17 back in the red. But overall, a choppy kind of sideways day, even though there was some positivity at the bottom. Individual names, man. What an absolute collapse there for Tesla.
Nothing came out on.
I
okay,
mean,
never mind.
that was a big collapse in Tesla, but that was as written, man. I mean, that 140, you know, that was. Remember we talked about this? I mean, Luca mentioned it, I think, when he was trading as well. There's only going to be so many opportunities that you're going to see. And, you know, that's just one of them. So Tesla finishes the day down 8%, which is absolutely unbelievable, considering what sort of damage this name has been going through over the last little while. Like, this was just $240 back in the 1st of November. Now you're down to 140 and probably going lower. Like I said, there's really been nothing in sight here for that. But that's... Wow, that was a really good trade. So, again, really happy with it. And I just want to thank everybody. You know, if you're not hitting the like after that, then, I mean, hopefully I can put some more on for you tomorrow. But that was, you know, again, pretty decent for myself. So keep up the good work.
It was a great looking setup through that bottom. There's no question about it. It looks like I actually don't know what time FedEx usually reports. So obviously we're waiting around. We do get them. We get Micron tomorrow. We get CCL in the morning. But that should make for some decent earnings plays, which has been lacking. We're obviously getting to the end of the year and the ending of earnings season. It's not like you're going to get a lot of things reporting left. We have a couple of big ones still yet to come before the end of the week.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to tweet out this chart with the video there. So you guys, we talked, and also again, keep saying Luca, but he had some such good examples today about watching back some of your trades. I don't do that, but you know, we'll see what the Tesla setup was all about there and where we wound up getting out. But again, big thank you to everybody for watching today. Means a lot to us. It's 4:03. Neil's trade of the day was AMC. You're going to see that coming up very, very soon. But it's 4:03. It's out.
FedEx is out.
All right,
it looks like
we can go over to FedEx quickly here since it's out over on the New York. So we'll see what FedEx is doing. Come over to the screen here. A nice little shoot up there to 170. But again, now back down to 164, 162. See ya, 156. There it is, 154. FedEx getting... I don't want to say Kathy Wood shedded, but
it's the same nonsense.
Same nonsense. Someone fat-fingered it to the high side, and there it is right there. But it's getting loud here. Worst day since October 3rd for Tesla right now. So
worst day in FedEx since September, probably as well.
And now FedEx is back to positive. It just took 164 out again. So all right, for almost no, it didn't. The bid ask right now was just $6. So pretty
Don't
violent.
trade these, man. Like
There we go. Now we're 163 again.
The spread is ridiculous on this.
Yeah, you can make or break your month on that. Remember we talked about stop orders? Well, that's a good example of why you don't want one.
Good luck with stops
when
on
the
this.
spread is that thin. All right, for everybody here at Trader TV Live, I want to thank everyone for watching. Come back to us tomorrow at 8:30, where we'll do it all again. So for now, that's Neil Brennan, I'm Shawn, and we will see you tomorrow. Ciao.